step into the day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, I tune to my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. We are the worst singers on the planet, yet we do it every day because we love it, because we love being with you. A very good morning. My name is Graham Richards.
And I'm Raul de Mona, and thank you so much for joining us as we kickstart your week and bring you all the magic that you absolutely deserve.
Buddy, how was your weekend?
It was so good. So good, man. I had the ultimate adventure. I took Jamie along with me. She's going to probably tell us about it later in the show, but we got into the clouds, into the mountain, and it was a full immersion. Absolute magic.
Well done. I just saw photos of you like suspended in the air, flying above the green. Just look absolutely stunning. Go check out his Instagram account, but for right now, stick around because we've got a lot of fun coming your way this morning. We are ready for a brand new week. What better way to get it started than obviously your Feel Good Breakfast show with all the delights in our kitchen. Yes, but we've got a couple of incredible performances from an unbelievably talented and a lovely young man, Cheswin Ray, who we featured on the show before, but he's taking it to a different level. Then we're going to find out how to do the happiness workout.
I don't know what to expect, G. It's something very interesting, very new, but I'm going to be taken through my paces on a happiness workout later on the show, and I think Mzansi's going to want to join.
Because you are naturally quite a depressed guy, so
you think I need some more happiness?
Like, I don't know if we can squeeze any more happiness into that body, but we'll try this morning, and of course, hopefully, we'll spread that love and joy with you as well. We get into all of the sporting highlights over the weekend, for the football, but we love the rugby action. And Cookie, the man, the legend, is going to be joining us for that. So you want to stick around. But right now, let's catch up with these gorgeous ladies. Good morning, gals.
Morning, gents. A very good morning to you. I'm Zoe Brown.
Good morning. I'm Jamie Lee Domberg, ready for this adventure of this brand new week.
That's right. And you know what? We often, when you're presented with too many choices, it's quite difficult to make that decision. But Marilyn Monroe once said, give the girl the right shoes and she can conquer the world. So we need to pick the shoes for Jamie Lee because she's currently wearing the slippers. And you have two beautiful choices. Talk us through your options for this morning.
Okay, so Robin obviously picked a nice little flowy dress from Woolworths for me. So I'm really loving the simplicity of it, ready for the new week. But I need to elevate this look. I definitely think it needs something chunky, it needs something vibey, it needs something with spice. So we have two options over there. We have the black one, which I love. I absolutely love. I think it has a nice little heel to it, chunky heel to it.
It's got a thick heel.
Maybe I should go fetch it. I'm going to fetch it for the boys.
I'll actually hand it to you.
Okay, so I got this one. Nice and chunky, nice little strap over there. All about comfortability. I like something that is going to elevate, but can also still be comfortable and still stylish for the rest of the day, right?
True, and I love that it's an open toe, and it really works well with the femininity of this dress you're wearing.
Definitely. And then we have the mustard pair. Loving the kitten heel to this as well. Not too high, so I can do the 3-hour show the entire time. The mustard color also just popped with a nice red lipstick. So my choices are...
Well, you have two beautiful choices from Woolworths, and you need to help Jamie out. So why don't you head on over to the Expresso Show Facebook page. We've got that picture up with a nice close-up of the black pair with the block heel. You did say you prefer, if you had to choose between the two, you
probably go for the black.
But it's up to you. You get to dress Jamie this morning. So head on over to the Expresso Facebook page. Cast your vote so that this girl can get out of her slippers.
Thanks so much, ladies. Well, it is the start of the first hour of the show, so let's bring you up to speed with our local news. Very important day here in South Africa as we prepare to take delivery of the first vaccine shipment today. Health Minister Zweli Mkhize yesterday said an additional 20 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine from pharmaceutical giant Pfizer have now also been secured. He told a Sunday newspaper that the country had enough storage space to safely secure the vaccines at the correct temperatures, and that government planned to issue a formal tender process this week. He added that the country's leaders could be first in line for the shots as to show confidence in the vaccines. Staying on topic, the Department of Health has confirmed the number of COVID-19 cases identified in the country as of yesterday is nearing 1.5 million, with 5,297 new cases identified since the last report. 318 COVID-19 related deaths have also been reported. Eastern Cape recording 85, Gauteng 53, KwaZulu-Natal 112, Mpumalanga 15, the Northwest 6, and Northern Cape 3, and then the Western Cape 44 cases. The recovery rate currently stands at almost 1.3 million. That's representing a recovery rate of 89%. Now, casting a wider gaze on the international front, only weeks after 40,000 poultry in Senegal had to be culled because of bird flu, it's now been established that the 750 pelicans found dead in the country's Djoudj bird sanctuary last week also died of the flu. Authorities had initially ruled out the disease, but results of the analysis confirmed the cause of death. A mixture of wetlands, savanna, canals, marshes and lakes nestled in the Senegal River Delta. Djoudj harbors more than 3 million individual birds from almost 400 species. Now, New York City was forced to reschedule all COVID-19 vaccination appointments due to take place today because of a powerful incoming snowstorm. All institutes of learning will also be closed today. Heavy storm is expected to hit the Big Apple today, bringing some 30 centimeters of snow and gusting winds. Meanwhile, the US has reported some 27 million COVID-19 cases with almost 452,000 deaths. And now news of what Cyclone Eloise brought apart from lashing rains. Many animals of late have been displaced and showing up in strange places due to the heavy rains brought on by Cyclone Eloise. And Angel and Jaco Breitenbach of the Northwest Province can vouch for this because of a few mornings ago, there was an enormous crocodile languishing in their swimming pool. Angel's comments on spotting the huge reptile enjoying a swim in the pool was said to be a cool, hey man, only in South Africa. Well, fortunately, Angel and her hubby had checked their security cameras before letting their animals out. And it's believed the croc had strolled over from a nearby flooded river due to all of the rain. This according to the Wild Heart Wildlife Foundation's Facebook page. The foundation removed the croc uninjured and placed it in a secure area where it will be released back into its natural habitat after being checked out by the Department of Nature Conservation. And the Wild Heart Wildlife Foundation is a small non-profit organization making a huge impact via ethical conservation, and it's committed to putting the welfare of wildlife first, even if they are as dangerous as a croc. That's where we leave our news for now. Let's get into a bumper sporting weekend. Let's start with cricket. Debutant Nauman Ali took 5 wickets as hosts Pakistan recorded an emphatic 7-wicket win over South Africa. That was on the 4th afternoon of their first test at the National Stadium in Karachi on Friday. Pakistan needed only 88 runs to win after the Proteas were bowled out for 245 in their second innings. The hosts reaching their target before tea with Azhar Ali hitting an unbeaten 31. That second and final test in Rawalpindi starts this coming Thursday, and then we can look forward to 3 T20 matches between Pakistan and South Africa. Well, staying with the battle between the nations, the Proteas women took a 2-0 lead in their 3-match T20 international series against Pakistan. That was after beating the visitors by 18 runs in the second T20 match in Durban yesterday. Second successive half-century by Tasman Brits, who smashed 66 from 58 deliveries. And then fast bowler Shabnim Ismail, who picked up 5 wickets on the day, guiding South Africa to that win. On Friday, South Africa then beat Pakistan by 8 wickets in the first T20 match, and the third and final will take place on Wednesday from 3:30 in the afternoon. Then a massive weekend for rugby, but first let's get into some news for the Springbok ladies. They will face France in their Rugby World Cup opener. That's in New Zealand starting in September this year. South Africa will face the French, who are currently 4th on the women's World Rugby rankings. The Pool C clash between the Bok women and France will take place at Eden Park on Saturday the 18th of September at 4:15. Mark it in your diary right now. The rest of South Africa's Pool C fixtures will be against England and Fiji a little bit later in September. Difficult group to start them off. 2021 Rugby World Cup will take place between the 18th of September up until the 16th of October. Now, bringing it back home, the Bulls have been crowned Currie Cup champions for the first time since 2009 after defeating the Sharks 26-19 in a nail-biting final at Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria on Saturday. Dramatic final went to extra time after the scores were tied at 19 apiece after 80 minutes. Springbok loose forward Arno Botha scoring a try in the 98th minute to secure the win for the hosts. This was the second title of the reworked season for the Bulls, of course winning the Super Rugby Unlocked title just 2 months before that. Now on to football. The Soweto Derby showdown hosted at the Orlando Stadium on Saturday went in favour of the Buccaneers. Orlando Pirates, after they edged out rivals Kaizer Chiefs 2-1 in the Premier Soccer League. Goals by Tim Nkosi Loch and Sepasihle Ndlovu confirming the win and bragging rights for the Buccaneers, of course. Other major results from the weekend saw defending PSL champions Mamelodi Sundowns beat Chippa United 2-0 to secure their spot at the top. SuperSport United and Swallows missed an opportunity. They played out to a 1-1 draw. And Baraka FC and Cape Town City FC, they shared the spoils 1-1. That PSL action will continue again tomorrow. Then, of course, this weekend in the English Premier League, Manchester City, they remain at the top of the standings after beating Sheffield United 1-0 at the Etihad. No goals were scored in the biggest match of the weekend, an age-old rivalry between Arsenal and Manchester United, normally very charged. That match ending 0-0. Then last night, reigning champions Liverpool, they moved up to third on the log, claiming a 3-1 win over a high-flying West Ham United. Leicester, they suffered a shock 3-1 loss to Leeds United. And of course, Spurs went down 1-0 to West Bromwich Albion. The English Premier League football will continue tomorrow evening from 8 p.m. But as I mentioned earlier in the show, Cookie, the coach extraordinaire, stepping in to help us review all of the weekend's sporting action. So stick around for that in the first half hour. Right now, though, let's take a look at some of your beautiful sunrise pictures.
Thank you, Graham. Well, we'll look at your weather, and we love receiving and starting each morning by getting what you see at your part of the world and what where you wake up looks like. Now, we received some beautiful submissions to share. Starting us off is in Sasolburg is John Laliswa, who sent through this moody start to his day. Your Monday will reach a maximum of 26 degrees with mostly cloudy temperatures expected. In fact, mostly clouds for the day, including some thunderstorms and precipitation. Now we head on over to Gauteng, where one of our regulars, Louise G. Cherry, shared this stunning image with the sun's rays lighting up the sky from behind the clouds. Now, if you too would like to be featured in our sunrise segment, just head on over to the Expresso Facebook page and share your gorgeous sunrise photos from wherever you may be. Some quick news. The South African National Park spokesperson Isaac Patla says the Kruger National Park is on high alert due to the South African Weather Service warning of heavy rainfall returning to Limpopo and Mpumalanga today and tomorrow. He said the parks was cooperating with the Weather Service as well as people who monitor river systems outside the park. In this manner, the park and its residents are made aware of the rising rivers, either upstream or downstream. Several camps and bridges are currently inaccessible due to continued heavy rainfall in the Limpopo area. Patla gave the assurance that parks disaster management teams are on full standby. Meanwhile, the Weather Service has warned of more possible disruptive rainfall across Gauteng today and also issued an alert level 4 warning. Well, that's where we leave your weather news for now. Let's look at your temperatures. If you are in Limpopo, we'll start off with a low of 17, a high of 26 in Polokwane. Mbombela, rain can be expected with a low of 16, a high of 30. Pretoria, 14 with a high of 26. Johannesburg, 16, reaching a high of 23. In the northwest, Mahikeng, 18 with a high of 27. Klerksdorp, 15, reaching a high of 28. Partly cloudy conditions in Kimberley today, 16, reaching a high of 32. And Bloemfontein, a low of 13, a high of 30. Moving over to KZN, a low of 19, a high of 26 in Richards Bay. Rain is expected in Pietermaritzburg, 14, reaching a high of 25. Durban, 20, reaching a high of 27. In the Eastern Cape, Mthatha, a low of 9 with a high of 20. East London, 15, reaching a high of 21. Cloudy conditions in Cradock with a high of 22. Port Elizabeth, 16, reaching a high of 22. In the Western Cape, George expects some rain with a high of 20. Cape Town, 15, reaching a high of 23. Worcester, 12, with a high of 26. If you're in Sutherland today, expect some partly cloudy conditions with a high of 20. And Uppington, your low for today is 19 and your high 36 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your morning weather for today. We'll bring you another update shortly after 7.
Thank you so much, Zozo, for that update. Now, as our viewers know, we really do value your contributions to the show. And this morning, we are getting to know one of our regular Sunrise contributors, Louise G. Sherry, a little bit better. Louise, it's so good to finally have a chat with you and finally put a face to the name. Good morning. How are you?
Hi, good morning, Expresso family, and thank you very much for inviting me onto the show today. I've been a huge fan ever since you people started in 2010 with those cute little doggies that Bob and Bella and that little baby Bastion. Oh, I tell you, that made my day. And you watches in the morning is like having my first cup of tea in the mornings.
Yay! We like coffee in the morning. I love that. Now I've got to ask Louise, like your pictures are absolutely stunning, but I wanted to take it back. Obviously, you mentioned you started in 2010, which is absolutely awesome. So it's over a decade of magic that we've been serving you. But over that entire decade and more, what have been some of your favorite memories and some of the segments that really stood out for you?
Well, there's actually been so many. Let me start off with the presenters. You get up, you give such positive, and you're full of life. Let me start. You always have interesting features. You highlight good technologies and obviously all the new apps that I see. And I'm also a very big fan of the cooking calorie hotline. Bling, bling, bling.
Ching, ching, ching.
I learned a lot from all the cooking tips, and not forgetting your Friday dance. That is just awesome. And that's basically a full week for me, and I just love your show.
Yes. And we love that we can do that for you, because really that is what it's all about, is connecting with you every single day and making sure that you feel good, but that we also feel good. And now, you know what? Because we know you always taking good pictures, and we always feature your stunning sunrise photos. Are you a photographer, or is this just a hobby and a passion of yours?
Louise, you still with us?
Well, let me start. I'd love to call myself a professional photographer, but sorry. Unfortunately, I'm only an amateur, and I started with a cell phone, and I've gone over to buying a nice camera. So I love my photography. I really do.
Yeah, and I think Mzansi thanks you for getting that upgrade on the new camera. But apart from beautiful sunrises, is there anything else that you are photographing, and anything else that we could see maybe of your work?
Well, firstly, let me just thank everybody for watching my love, landscape, nature. Basically, I've done weddings, portraits, aerial photography. I can't really put up a portfolio together because I've got so many. I take photographs of anything that interests my eyes. I'd like to do food photography, for advertising reasons, and and with every cloud there is a silver lining, and through every break in the sky there is the sun that shines through. And that is why I just love the sunrise to photograph them.
Louise, just looking at those pictures, I'm sure you are feeling it. Nature Boy is just like, what is that? That is so beautiful. Continue doing that. Continue sharing those beautiful pictures with us. Like I said, we get inspired by your creativity. So continue doing that. You are making us smile, but you're also making the rest of South Africa smile. So thank you so much. And also thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us this morning.
Well, it's only been my pleasure, and thank you very much for having me on the show, and have an awesome day.
Oh, now, Zanzi, of course, don't forget, you can also send in your sunrise pictures, and we'd love to chat to you. So keep sending them through, and send those sunrise pictures to our social media channels, and we would love to get in touch with you. But again, Louise, thank you so much for inspiring us. And let's kick off the rest of this Monday. What do you say, Jamie Lee?
Oh, yeah.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Yes, it is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. We're live on SABC3. It's a Monday morning. Thank you very much for choosing to start the week off on the right side of level 3 lockdown here on SABC3. So we're getting our first post up on our Facebook page, and we've asked you a very important question when it comes to relationshiping and arguments.
Exactly that. So we're asking in your relationships, when it comes to confrontation, Tubbs, are you a bulldozer who makes sure you get your way, or are you a tortoise who hides away from the fight, or maybe a bit of both? Well, who do you think and why do you think you confront your issues? And people like this, let us know on Expresso Show. Of course, use that Expresso Show hashtag. And we do also have our Shadulab in the building to give us even more insight.
Yeah, we're going to be unpacking that. What type of person are you?
You want to ask me.
I want to find out from you.
I don't think I'm a bulldozer. I'm a tortoise that listens until I've heard enough.
Yes.
And then the bulldozer comes out.
But the bulldozer does come out.
It's there, but it's justified. And yourself?
I think that it's evolved. It changes all the time. It depends who it is I'm speaking to, who it is that I've obviously in a confrontation with. But I think I'm more of a tortoise who would rather sort of, back off a little bit.
The tortoise, you say?
Definitely.
Okay, I don't know.
Back off a little bit. Hear you out. And if I can avoid it completely, I will avoid confrontation. But it evolves and it changes all the time. Today, I may back off. Tomorrow, I will. Hashtag Expresso Show. Let us know what you think. Let us know the type of person that you are and your character in a relationship when it comes to confrontation.
Time now to welcome our unbelievably talented musical guest this morning who's going to be taking us through our hashtag Gospel Mondays. He's performed on the show before, took our breath away, and we can understand why he obviously shot to fame winning a local singing competition and why he now shares the stage with the likes of Jared Ricketts. Some incredible performing artists want to perform with him now because he is that good. Chesman Ray now joins us this morning. He's also a lovely human being, so it's so good to have you back in studio.
Thank you. It's like being back.
Oh, well, nice and early. We love having you here, and I'm looking forward to hearing you perform for our Gospel Monday. Now, I know the last time you were here, you were talking about your song, A Reason, and today there's a new single out that we're talking about.
It's called Heart Tonight.
Heart Tonight. Oh, nice. What can people expect from that song?
It speaks about breakup, unfortunately, but it speaks about dancing through a breakup and celebrating lifestyle. So we're not sad, we're dancing.
Okay, I like that.
Have you been through a breakup recently?
Yeah.
Okay, we won't touch on that.
Thank you.
It's a new year, it's a new
Exactly.
you.
Yeah, I love that aspect because, at the end of the day, yes, the heartache is sore when it comes to a breakup, but there was a friendship, there was a reason you loved the person or had a relationship with them. So I'm looking forward to hearing it.
And from a musical direction, this is a bit more poppy. Is this a sign of the times where you're headed now? What's behind the kind of forming, the shaping of the song?
I wanted something new. I'm used to singing ballads and stuff, so I felt like, nope, let's dance a bit. So this is literally pushing me to a next level in doing something new.
And I think that's so important. Yeah. And now you've performed, like Graham mentioned, with Jared Ricketts. You've been with Emo and Lukman Adams. Any other South African artists you hope to collaborate with?
I think there's about 3. It would be Paxton, it would be Craig Lucas, and then Amanda Black.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a nice list. And they're on the show regularly. So, and they watch the show. So
someone knows someone.
I'm just saying.
Put it out into the universe.
We talk about these amazing artists, and we saw a beautiful collaborative effort throughout lockdown, artists helping each other. You were one of those artists who kind of stood up and put your hand up. So well done for doing that. You also got to take part in some pretty cool things. Cinderella and Fricadella, an opportunity to step out of your comfort zone, I'm sure.
Definitely.
Trying your acting hat on. What was that like?
I got to play a prince.
Ooh.
So it was super fancy, super nice. But it was pushing Chesman Ray to the beyond his limits. So it was crazy, but it was lekker and definitely something I would want to do in the future.
Well, I was about to ask you, is there any other characters you would love to at least try your hand at?
I don't know. I would like to be in Beauty and the Beast or something like that. Like to be a beast this time,
Okay.
and not a prince.
Okay.
You've got the voice to do it. Maybe this
To
is
be a beast.
You're strong enough, man. You're strong enough. But I suppose it's difficult to follow being a prince. I mean, where do you go from there? You've already started to inspire a lot of other young singers. I'm interested in what inspired you to enter that competition, first of all, and to other young artists looking to kind of push, because you're going through the hard yards right now, what words of advice do you have for them?
I remember entering this competition with the thought of I left university to do what I want to do. So I had this thing of, what if it doesn't work out for me? What if I fail at this? So I did this competition and it worked for me, and now I used my one shot. So I want to tell people that use the one opportunity that you get, make the best of it, and work for what you want.
Definitely, I like that. And I know last year was quite an interesting year for many people, especially within the entertainment and the arts industry. What are you hoping to get out of the year that is ahead? Because we also know it's like untrying times. We're not sure what 2021 will bring for us, but what are you hoping?
How do you plan for a year like this?
I want to visit schools this year. Like, I want to go to schools, speak to young people, tell them that young people from small communities can do something massive. So that's my plan for the year, and to release new music.
And what's the vibe for the new music? How much is written? Are you still writing? Are we going the pop route now? Is this a sign of the time?
I finished about 2 songs, so I have to just finish recording. Something Afrikaans, and then something super lekker. So there's a few new things coming.
I was wondering about that, like the Afrikaans. Is that something you gravitate towards?
Yep, definitely. But it takes time, because Afrikaans is different than English, so you have to take your time to go into it.
And I always feel like some Afrikaans songs moet so 'n bietjie rhyme.
Yeah.
The lyrics, you have to put some thought behind it and be creative with your words, because it's such an expressive language.
Yeah, Andre Carsten said English is a lot more forgiving because you can sing your way through a bad line, but in Afrikaans,
Jy moet daar wees.
yeah, there's very little room to hide. It's a lot of hard work. We know this, and I'm sure you're kind of realizing that every single day now. Where does your attention go into? Do you prefer the performing? Do you prefer the writing of the music at the moment? Where is kind of the passion? What drives you at the moment?
Performing, being on platforms like this, definitely performing. Writing is something different because you have to delve into emotions and stuff. So I don't prefer that, but being on stage definitely, and feeling the energy of people.
So how was it for you? I mean, I know last year that was the one thing we were all deprived of, was the energy of people. What was that transition like for you from, being on a stage, having that crowd, to now all of a sudden having to do it to a camera and no audience, no one's reacting?
Imagine your audience. Yeah.
I have a big imagination, so I always see people around me, not crazy, but imagination. So I had to use that, and also bring your own fire from the house. So I had to definitely go into that.
Okay.
I love it. Well, you're going to bring the fire for us this morning. Singer and songwriter Cheswin Ray will be performing 3 worship songs for our hashtag Gospel Monday performances today, and he is phenomenal. You want to stick around. We've got some music by the reigning king of urban gospel, Kirk Franklin. What a legend to live up to. Our own Dr. Tumi, and a few more just to keep you engaged for an amazing day. So stick around.
Well, we do love having Cheswin here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Always all the feel good vibes, so certainly looking forward to that performance coming through. But something that I've been looking forward to is having everyone at home help us decide what shoes Jamie Lee must wear on the show today. We've got lots of comments that came through here. Meshzan de Villiers saying the black block heel looks awesome, because you had 2 options, right? The black block heel and the mustard pair of kitten heels, is that what they're called? And then of course, Sarah Samu says I'd pick the mustard one for her. It'll add a pop of bright color to her stunning outfit. Shireen Abrams saying, good morning, Jamie Lee and the entire Expresso team. Happy Monday. She should wear the mustard pumps. It will complement her outfit. Have a great day. Lots of love. And Gretchen says the mustard heel definitely will complement her hair. Love the color. Go, Jamie. You will definitely rock that look. Okay, so it seems that people have spoken. People have spoken.
Let's give them what they want. We are sticking with the mustard pumps, and now I can take on the world. I can take on the next 3 hours of the show. And of course, if you want to get inspiration or shop any of these looks, you can do it in store, online, or on the WhatsApp.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You are live with Expresso on a Monday morning after a bumper weekend of sport. Thank you so much for joining us. Time now to sink our teeth into it with a man who has tasted greatness on and off the field. In fact, so many people look to him as the guiding light in South African sport at the moment. The definitive word I'm talking about, video creator and rugby coach Kutle Sonkosi. Cookie, a very good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, guys. Yeah, doing very well, thanks. Tough weekend for my teams, but yeah, other than that, doing very well. How are you guys doing?
Great, man. Before we talk about a bit of footballing action and commiserations there, let's talk about the rugby. I know a lot of these rugby players look to you for guidance on and off the field around the braai. The Bulls proving that a bull is more dominant on land than a shark. The Currie Cup final was decided 26-19, a nail biter. What did you make of that final?
I thought it was a cracker, Graham. I think obviously not many finals get to extra time. So for the game to go there to extra time and the Bulls to get the win in the day just showed how good they are. I mean, they've been the form side the whole year. And yeah, I think at the end of the day, I think their orange slices at halftime made all the difference. I think the Sharks' orange slices weren't as good as the Bulls, and it helped carry them through all the way to get to another Currie Cup victory.
Yeah, Tuka, I just want to maybe touch a bit more on that. From my opinion, the game itself seemed like pretty much first half, it was Sharks dominating, but yet the Bulls seemed to claw through. What do you make and what do you think the reason is for that? I mean, you often see them coming through and dominating the scrum. A far more even matchup this time around, I must say. But I do feel for the Sharks, man. I feel like they just let this one...
Kerwin
Bosch, it slipped through the fingers.
No, definitely. I thought the Sharks for 60 minutes in that game were the dominant side. I thought they'd done everything right. I mean, they put themselves, they're kicking all the goals. But the thing about the Bulls, I think what they do very well is they never out of a game. So you think they may be 10 points behind, but they always find a way they'll always find their try. They'll always find their penalty. And obviously with the Sharks, they missed a couple of kicks at the end, could have gone for goal, and then they chose to go for the line out. So I thought the Sharks, they definitely disappointed. I think they did have a big chance to win it and then take their chances. And at the end of the day, a side like the Blue Bulls will always capitalize on the opposition's mistakes.
So as we sum up, of course, the Blue Bulls took our Super Rugby unlocked. They took the Currie Cup action. What did you make of the domestic competition here in SA? Your thoughts on South African rugby after this rather bizarre time?
Yeah, I think it's been an interesting one, Graham, because obviously with no fans and, there was no rugby for about 5 months last year, and then it's been tough. I think the rugby's been good. I think obviously it's been bizarre times. So it's with games being called off for COVID, and a lot of games it's obviously been kick-started and slow started. So I think other than that, I thought the rugby was good. I think for them to be able to put together 2 competitions in such a quick turnaround it was very great. I think for all the people at home, we're just happy to have watched rugby, and hopefully we get the Springboks to play this year.
Let's talk a little bit of cricket.
Yeah.
Cookie, you've tasted defeat, I know. As a captain yourself, what do you say to a team like the Proteas who have lost by a whopping 7 wickets in that opening test against Pakistan? What would your words of wisdom be for this team that clearly must be licking their wounds?
Graham, the first thing you got to do is look in the mirror and acknowledge that we didn't play well. That's the first thing you got to do. And then after that, we know you got to bounce back. You look for the positives in there. In the second innings, you batted a lot better. So you take that and then you build from that. And I think that's all you can do in this week. You do the analysis of the game, take the positives out, focus on the positive, and then you go to the next test. I think the Proteas can only bounce back from here. I don't think you can bat any worse. So I think you go in the next test feeling positive and going, you know what, we're in a new venue, new city. So hopefully we get a different result.
Quickly, I got to ask you, what do you think it is that it's kind of just lacking at the moment when it comes to Proteas? I mean,
we can't play spin.
Well, it does seem that way. I mean, look, we've always had an aggressive bowling force, not a problem at all. But we're not stringing anything together in the batting order of mass. I mean, what do you make of it? What do you think is just missing? I mean, G mentions obviously can't play against spin. What's your thoughts, man?
It's just not getting runs. That's the problem. If you're scoring 221 runs, the first thing is you're selling yourself short. I mean, without a foundation, what can you do? I think as a bowler, we can have the best bowling attack in the world, but if the batsmen aren't setting a good foundation for them, there's not much they can do. I mean, they can't be trying to defend 200 runs every game and we're trying to bowl teams out for 100. I think, like Graham said, we struggle against spin. we definitely do. It's been a weakness for a long time. So, and Pakistan obviously will take advantage of that. But I think with approaches, I think it's just, we need to score runs. That's runs. That's the big thing.
Yep, and the Proteas ladies getting that brief and nailing it. What do you make of their unbelievable performance against Pakistan's ladies? First of all, in the ODI, and now 2 T20 wins under the belt.
No, the ladies are amazing. I mean, they're just so consistent. I mean, another series win. I mean, they had a great week last week. I mean, they won the ODI series, won the T20 series, and they just keep making us proud. And once again, I think everyone is stepping up. It's not just a one woman show. It's everyone keeps chipping in with key performances. So I'm very, very, very happy for the Proteas women's side. And they're playing amazing cricket at the moment.
Cookie, I've got to ask you one last controversial question here, because there's a lot of talk, people taking Colpack contracts, people stepping outside of the norm. In your environment at the moment, have you ever considered, and I'm sorry, please don't take this as an insult, moving from a coal or wood braai to a gas braai?
Definitely not, Graham. I'm a coal and wood man, so obviously the way times are going, you got to look at things, situations like a gas braai. But I think I'm a loyal man. First of all, I think I've signed a lifetime contract with wood and coal, so I can't go against that. I think I've got to stick with the wood from now on. Obviously, I don't want to get sued from the wood company. So I must say I'm happy to stick with the wood and coal.
All right, we'll talk about the worst weekend in footballing history in just a moment. So we want you to stick around for that. But he feels my pain as I'm a Causey man himself. But we are thanking you, Kutle. You're a legend. You're a living legend, man. You really are. We really appreciate you. We love you. Stick around, viewers, because we are going to be delving into all of the weekend footballing action, local and abroad. It was really bad. So we just brace for it.
Well, we're bringing it to the kitchen and getting you started with some kitchen recipe inspiration. Now, this one is a very, very interesting one, Zoe, that you're going to be taking us through.
It is. How does a shuffle for breakfast sound?
What on earth is a shuffle?
A shuffle is a cheese waffle.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're just playing around with this one, and what makes this one so amazing is only using 2 ingredients. Now, as you can see, it's simple, easy peasy lemon squeezy. So here we have 2 eggs in our bowl.
Okay.
As you can see, it's quite rare that you get a dubbele doer. I don't know what you would call that in English.
But I understand what you mean in Afrikaans,
you'll only need 2 eggs for this. So we're going to give it a good little whisk.
I like that.
And we're going to add some cheese. Now, I'm not going to use all of this cheese because you're going to be doing a different version for us.
Of it, yes. And the thing is, with this recipe, in December, Google released the most searched for recipes. And as we sheltered at home to safeguard against COVID-19, many of us got reacquainted with our kitchens and really getting into making that comfort food. And today, we're introducing you to one of the most searched recipes.
So there
the
we go.
Shuffle, yes.
The
And
shuffle.
it's really such a simple one. It's made only using 2 ingredients. But before we start, while we go on, I suppose, let's go through some of those Google food searches for 2020. At number 1, they had sourdough bread, which came out very, very popular. Number 2, banana bread. Do you remember when lockdown started, even in South Africa?
Everyone went banana bread crazy.
Absolutely. And at number 3, they also had pizza dough recipes. They were very, very highly searched. Number 4, they had pancakes. And this was specifically in South Africa. Pancakes really grew in popularity. A lot of people were making those.
Yes. So I know I said this is a 2-ingredient one. So you will be making the basic one.
Yeah.
I'm doing a pizza-inspired one. So what I've done is I've added some tomato paste, and I'm now going to add a little bit of bacon bits.
Nice.
And this is the pizza variant.
Okay, I like that one. So my one here is just eggs. You got 2 eggs broken into there, and then you're going to add some cheese, obviously, to make it all nice and cheesy and rich. And this, you want to be making sure that it's a nice, rich, indulgent breakfast.
And then make sure you have a hot waffle pan. There we go. And obviously you use a little bit of oil to grease it, whether you're going to cook and spread or just drizzle a bit of oil.
Yeah. so
then
that
you
it
simply
doesn't
add
stick, right?
There we go, yeah.
Okay, great.
So I'm going to leave space for you for your version.
Yeah. So this depends on, I mean, if someone, obviously, if you live with someone who doesn't eat bacon, this would be the perfect sort of like basic one to do, right?
Yes, so definitely if you want to go for your meat-free Monday option, that is the one. But then also, you know, if you are going to go the savory route, I love adding sun-dried tomatoes.
Oh, yes.
Well, whatever tickles your fantasy to really just make it your own.
Great. Okay, so this looks like it's come together nicely. Are you happy? Do you approve, Zoe?
I do approve, so you're going to scoop it in. Sorry, mine's taking a bit over.
Okay, so I'm just going to do
Try
this.
to scoop it this way. Okay, I'm not going to scratch it.
Well, if you want the recipe, why don't you go onto our website, expressoshow.com. We've got that loaded on the website as well as all the ingredients. And as you can see, there aren't many ingredients here needed to bring this to life. So you're going to get that closed and going.
There we go. Okay, I was a bit generous with my portion. Don't be
Is it spilling over, spilling
just
out?
a little bit, but I always do that whenever it comes to batter. I always misjudge how much to add. But yeah, we do have this recipe available for you. And once this is done, that is what our chaffle looks like.
It looks so good, and I can't believe that it's only taken 3 ingredients, and also it's so quick to make as well. But how interesting is it that all of those sort of lined up on the counter there are the recipes that people were most searching for on Google in 2020. It shows you they're easy to make, right?
They are easy to make, and you know what? These are the type of ingredients most people would have at home.
Absolutely.
So you didn't have to go to the stores and really, you know, put yourself in such an environment where you didn't feel safe during the pandemic.
I can't wait to taste that. In fact, I'm going to go that side,
Taste
Zoe.
it and let me know what you think.
I'm going to taste it. I'm going to taste one of these, especially your pizza version.
The pizza
This
version?
one, right?
Oh, yes, that's the one.
Oh,
How is
man. Yep. No, this is like this is a treat. This is a cheesy treat. Love it.
Oh, there we go. Well, if you'd love to get your hands on our chaffle recipe, head on over to the Expresso Show website. That's expressoshow.com. We've got the ingredients and all the steps to the recipe.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Continuing with our weekend sports review, video creator, rugby coach and living legend, Kutle Sonkosi, aka Cookie, is still with us, and he is joined by a footballing super fan, Dylan Keenan Tybos. Dylan, a good morning to you as well. We love having both of you join us this morning. I know, Kutle, you are a Kaizer Chiefs fan. The Soweto derby must have cut you real deep, kid. 2-1 was the scoreline that rang across the country. Cookie, what went wrong for Chiefs, or what went right for the Buccaneers?
Oh, I guess, Graham, that game, it cut me deep. I still haven't put my notifications on, so no one can still get hold of me. So no Pirates fans have been able to get hold of me to give me a bit of banter. But I think the big thing for us is, for Chiefs, was we just didn't take our chances. We missed a penalty. missed a couple of chances, and then if you look at Orlando Pirates, they did what good teams do, and they capitalized and they took all their chances, and at the end of the day, that's what got them the win.
Proud moment for the boys. They needed the win and they are fast climbing that log. And for a team like Pirates, you want to see them performing, but you also want to see a team like Kaizer Chiefs living up to their potential. They're a glamour side. They're one of the original glamour teams in the country. Are they getting it right? Is Barker the man for the job? Are you feeling more confident about where Chiefs is headed?
Yeah, I definitely am. I think they're on the right track. I think obviously not having a transfer window where you couldn't buy players made a massive difference, so couldn't get new players in. But I do think that we're on the right track. Obviously, it's a rebuilding job, so it will take time. But we've shown glimpses of the form we can be. But yeah, I think a club like Kaizer Chiefs, you want to see them back at the top. You want to see them win a few trophies. And yeah, I'm tired of being the only one quiet in the staff room because all the other teams winning and Kaizer Chiefs not getting it done. So yeah, but I definitely think that Kaizer Chiefs will bounce back and we've got the right man for the job.
Dylan, I'm going to bring you in here, my friend. Cape Town City, super fan you are. We can understand the team's got a great brand of football. 1-1 against Baroka this weekend. How are you feeling about your team's performance?
It's a very solid performance.
And I mean,
it's a very solid performance from the club, but I was hoping for more, for 3 points, but the draw also it sets the bar for us and how we would go into the Nedbank Cup now with Bloem Celtic as our fixture. But 3 points would be better for me, but we're playing on Baroka's home, so we needed points. But yeah, happy with the result, happy with the boys. The team structure is great. I'm happy with the coach, everything. So that's good.
Dylan, I got to ask, I mean, obviously this now, it's a worthy point away from home always. I think it's, especially as a team, you take it. And by the looks of it, and especially after this weekend's clash, it looks like it puts Cape Town City in 5th position. It looks only like 2 points away from Pirates. I mean, obviously obviously a win would have put you tied for 4th, but I mean, it's looking like Cape Town City are slowly starting to find that groove of previous years. And like you said, Nedbank Cup is looking quite promising indeed. How are you feeling, man, in terms of the league itself?
Look, we are hoping on winning all trophies possible in now that is available for us. But I think the main objective for the team now possibly is maybe qualifying for CAF Confederations or CAF Champions League, but mostly to win a league because we are slowly getting there. We are, as you said, in 4th position, but the win would put us in 4th. But I can't say we can't change the result, but I think it would be great. It would be great for us to qualify for CAF Champions League or Confederations Cup and hopefully winning the league and the Nedbank Cup.
Confident young man. I love the sound of that. Let's hop across the pond now. Cookie, I'm sure you would have been as surprised as the rest of the footballing world at this particular result, knowing how much of a better team Burnley are than Chelsea. The fact that Chelsea were able to somehow miraculously get that 2-0 win on their form. Let's talk about that controversy and, of course, the controversy surrounding the pronunciation of Chelsea's new coach.
I think at the moment the main thing is trying to realize how to say the coach's name. I think I say Thomas Tuchel. I think obviously. But Graham, beware of the underdogs. The mighty Chelsea are turning it around, getting a win to finally get off 10th. So we're back in the top half. We're back on the top half of the log. I don't have to scroll twice on my phone to try and look for Chelsea and look at the league. So very happy about that. A much needed win. But yeah, I think obviously a new coach, new structures. I think Chelsea look very good. As good as we have been. Haven't looked this good for a while. So yeah, very very happy with the 3 points.
Ask me how the weekend was.
It started. I've been basically drinking cups of vomit here.
He's been avoiding me since Thursday, Cookie, since I played him. at Spurs on Thursday night. Obviously, Kane going down, and it's just brought so much momentum for Anfield's beautiful.
How are you feeling? I was a bit nervous against West Ham for Liverpool last night. West Ham are playing some really good football at the moment, and they're knocking about with the top boys. How are you feeling about Liverpool, my friend?
Man, it's like an invigoration of hope once again. I think after Thursday, there was a big decider for Liverpool. Definitely a big game when it comes to the table standing, and even potentially still creeping in a potential league winner. I don't know. We were aiming for top 4. After this weekend, it seems like there's some hope, G. I'm not going to lie. We're only 7 points adrift from the top of the log. After this weekend, I think the momentum's there. Liverpool are looking refreshed.
Well, I don't think I can believe anything that any of you say, so I don't know why we did this chat, but it's been great. Cookie, Dylan, I've got to say thank you so much, gentlemen. You are absolute legends. We really appreciate your time this morning. Good luck to all of your respective teams. We look forward to connecting with you again. And Kutle, well done on the choice of shirts. Nice white shirts. I like that. Not too controversial this morning. Well done. Massive thank you to both Kutle and Dylan for joining us via video call this morning. Make sure to head over to our social media platforms to check out Kutle's 1-minute review on the weekend sporting highlights. It's worth it.
And remember, of course, we're looking for all our super fans out there to join in the conversation. So post your comments and opinions about this weekend's matches, and we will be in contact. And of course, you can be sharing your opinion live right here on Expresso. Keep going.
Well, I'm so glad that the boys finally got that off their chest. They got all the weekend sports off their chest, so we can continue with your Feel Good Breakfast show. And of course, do connect with us on our social media platforms. We absolutely love hearing from you. But as we know, it is the first day of a brand new month, and we'd like to kick off Feb on the right note by honoring and praising the creator of all things with our Gospel Monday performances. Now, singer and songwriter Chesvin Ray will be covering the popular 1997 gospel song, My Life Is In Your Hands, by American choir director, musician, songwriter, and also author and the reigning king of urban gospel, Kirk Franklin. The song gained popularity for being an urban contemporary gospel hit when it was released, and to this day the song remains a favorite in churches throughout the world. Here is Chesvin Ray with Roderick on the keys with My Life Is In Your Hands. Boys, take it away.
Troubles, they don't last always. For there's a friend named Jesus who will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, just lift your hands and say, oh, I know that I can make it. I know that I can stand, no matter what may come our way. My life is in your hands. So when your tests and trials, they seem to get you down, when all your friends and loved ones, they are nowhere to be found, remember there's a friend named Jesus who will wipe your tears away. And if your heart is broken, just lift your hands and say, oh, I know that I can make it. I know that I can stand, no matter what may come my way. My life is in your hands. With Jesus I can take it. With him I know I can stand, no matter what may come my way. matter what life may throw my way, my life is in Jesus' hands. No matter what may come my way, my life is in your hands.
Yeah.
Caitlin Ray, Marco Mentor on the keys. More of this coming your way, Gospel Mondays. Let us know what you thought of that performance. Expresso Morning Show, SABC3. We'll see you in a moment.
Only you can make my day. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back, everybody. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, kicking you off to a brand new week. We have such amazing content for you today. It is still World Read Out Aloud Day, so connect with us again. We love hearing from you.
And of course, I've got that happiness workout coming out in the show later. And Asha Dulab is going to give us some more relationship advice and all that's coming through. But first, let's find out what's happening in the latest with our news.
Thank you very much, team. Just after 7 o'clock, time for us to take a look at those news headlines. Starting off here in South Africa, where beneficiaries of the 350 Rand COVID-19 grant that ended yesterday are pleading with the government to not only extend payments, but also to increase the amount. The grant was implemented to support those without an income during the pandemic. It was meant to end last October, but the government extended it by 3 months, and over 6 million people were approved for the grant in the country. And as South Africa prepares to take delivery of its first vaccine shipment today, Health Minister Zweli Mkhize yesterday said an additional 20 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine from pharmaceutical giant Pfizer have been secured. He told a Sunday newspaper that the country had enough storage space to safely secure the vaccines at the correct temperatures and that the government planned to issue a formal tender process this week. He added that the country's leaders could be first in line for the shots as to show confidence in the vaccines. In international news, thousands of Russians took part in an unauthorized protest, or rather a range of unauthorized protests this weekend to demand the release of the jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Moscow police detained more than 5,000 people. Police also closed metro stations and blocked off the city center. Navalny was jailed on his return a few weeks ago to Russia after recovering in Germany from an attempt to kill him with a nerve agent. He blames the security services for the attack, but the Kremlin has denied this. And only weeks after 40,000 poultry in Senegal had to be culled because of bird flu, it has now been established that the 750 pelicans found dead in the country's Jewish bird sanctuary last week also died of the flu. Authorities had initially ruled out the disease, but results of the analysis confirmed the cause of death. A mixture of wetlands, savanna, canals, marshes and lakes nestled in the Senegal River Delta. Jewish harbors more than 3 million individual birds from almost 400 species. And now a man shows appreciation to village for hiding his family. An Austrian man who fled the Nazis with his family during World War II has left part of his fortune to the residents of a French village who helped them to escape, or rather to hide. Eric Schwann, who died at the age of 90 in December, wrote the surprise gift into his will to La Chambonne-sur-Lignon, to rather a commune in south central France, some 2 million million euros. Mayor Jean-Michel said that the Schwann's gift would be used to fund education and youth initiatives. La Chambon-sur-Lion has a population of only about 2,500 people, but has a reputation as a place of refuge dating back to the French Protestant Huguenots who fled religious persecution and prosecution during the 17th century. Now, the town was also recognized by Israel for its extraordinary efforts in protecting Jewish refugees from occupying Nazi forces during World War II. That's where we leave it for now. Here's Graham with a look at what's happening in the world of sport.
Thanks so much, T. Plenty of action on all fronts. Let's start with cricket. Debutant Nauman Ali took 5 wickets as hosts Pakistan recorded a 7-wicket win over South Africa on the 4th afternoon of their first test at the National Stadium in Karachi on Friday. Pakistan needed only 88 runs ultimately to win after the Proteas were bowled out for 245 in their second innings. The hosts reaching their target before tea with Azhar Ali hitting an unbeaten 31. That second and final test in Rawalpindi starts on Thursday, and then we can look forward to 3 T20 matches between Pakistan and South Africa. Staying with cricket, the Proteas women far more successful. They took a 2-0 lead and a series win in their 3-match T20 international series against Pakistan after beating the visitors by 18 runs in their second T20 match in Durban yesterday. A second successive half-century by Tasman Brits, who smashed 66 from 58 deliveries, and then fast bowler Shabnim Ismail, who picked up 5 wickets on the day, guided South Africa to the win. Then previously on Friday, South Africa beat Pakistan by 8 wickets in that first T20. The third and final match in the series will take place on Wednesday, kicking off at 3:30 p.m. Then some rugby news. The Springbok women will face France in their Rugby World Cup opener in New Zealand starting in September this year. South Africa will face the French, who are currently 4th on the women's world rugby rankings. Their Pool C clash between the Bok women and France will take place at Eden Park on Saturday, the 18th of September at 4:15 in the afternoon. The rest of South Africa's Pool C fixtures, a tough pool at that, will be against England and Fiji later in September. The 2021 Rugby World Cup will take place between the 18th of September and 16th of October. Then bringing it back home, it was a massive weekend for the North. The Bulls have been crowned Currie Cup champions for the first time since 2009 after defeating the Sharks 26-19 in what turned out to be a nail-biting final played out at Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria on Saturday. The dramatic final went to extra time after the scores were tied at 19 all after the allotted 80 minutes. Springbok loose forward Arno Botha scoring a try in the 98th minute to secure the win for the hosts. This was the second title for the reworked season for the Bulls. They, of course, won the Super Rugby Unlocked title just 2 months ago, but have been the form team throughout the season. So congratulations to all the Bulls fans out there. Now, let's talk about derby action in football. The Soweto Derby Showdown, hosted at the Orlando Stadium on Saturday, went in favour of Orlando Pirates after they edged out age-old rivals Kaizer Chiefs 2-1 in the Premier Soccer League. Goals by Temenkosi Loch and Sepasihle Ndlovu confirming the win and bragging rights for the Buccaneers. Some other results from the weekend saw defending PSL champions Mamelodi Sundowns secure their top spot on the table, beating Chippa United 2-0. Supersport United and Swallows FC, they played out to a 1-1 draw. Both, I think, feeling that they would have dropped points and an opportunity there. Baraka FC, Cape Town City, they shared the spoils at 1 apiece, and you can look forward to more PSL action this week, continuing tomorrow. Then finally, the weekend in the English Premier League through some interesting results. Manchester City, they remain at the top of the standings after beating bottom of the log Sheffield United 1-0 at the Etihad. No goals were scored in the biggest derby encounter of the weekend. Arsenal and Manchester United, they ended 0-0. Then last night, reigning champions Liverpool, they moved up to 3rd on the log after claiming a 3-1 win over West Ham United. Leicester City, they suffered a shock 3-1 loss to Leeds United. And of course, Spurs went down 1-0 to Brighton. And the English Premier League football will continue later tomorrow evening, kicking off at 8 p.m. SA time. That's where we leave our sport for now. Let's take a look at the weather.
We are starting off your 7 a.m. weather update by showing off some weather images we've received from our lovely viewers. Gloria shared the sunrise from Rustenburg. Conditions in your area today will be cloudy and humid with an occasional thunder shower throughout the day. And then one of our regulars, Ntokozo Theo Makatini, sent us this photo from Johannesburg. Expect a maximum of 23 degrees Celsius with 52% chance of thunder showers. Now, if you too would like to feature in our sunrise segment, head on over to the Expresso Facebook page and share your sunrise from wherever you may be. Some quick news: the once mighty iceberg A68A we have been reporting on for some time appears to be in its death throes. This is, well, the largest fragment from the block of Antarctic ice that originally measured some 5,800 square kilometers in the area. That's about the size of Israel, has suffered another major split. Satellite images shows at least two segments drifting close together, some 135 kilometers southeast of the British territory of South Georgia. They will no doubt soon move for further apart, and for more than 3 years, A68A has been the largest iceberg in the world. And the last few months, it posed a grave threat to local penguins and seals, blocking their normal foraging routes and preventing them from feeding their young sufficiently. But warmer climates and more aggressive seas gradually pulled it apart as it drifted northwards away from Antarctica into the South Atlantic. So rest in peace, A68A. Well, let's look at your temperatures for today. If you're in Polokwane, expect rain with a low of 17, a high of 26. Mbombela 17, reaching a high of 30. Pretoria 14 with a high of 26. Johannesburg, thunder showers can be expected with a high of 23. In Mahikeng, 18 with a high of 27. Klerksdorp 15, 28. Kimberley partly cloudy with a high of 32. Bloemfontein 13 with a high of 30. If you're in Richards Bay today, a low of 19 with a high of 26 can be expected. Rain for Pietermaritzburg 14 with a high of 25. Durban 20 reaching a high of 27. Mthatha 9 with a high of 20. Thunder showers in place for East London with a high of 21. Cradock cloudy conditions 8 with a high of 22. Port Elizabeth 16 reaching a high of 22. George, rain can be expected with a high of 20. In Cape Town, partly cloudy conditions 15 with a high of 23 for today. Worcester 12, 26. Sutherland 7 with a high of 20. And if you're in Uppington, expect some partly cloudy conditions with a low of 19 and a high of 35 degrees Celsius. Well, that's where we leave your weather for now. If you'd love to share your sunrise photos, please do so on the Expresso Facebook page.
Now, of course, we were chatting about so much magic on the show, and one of the questions that we posed to you on social media this morning is, when it comes to your relationships and confrontation, how do you handle it and what do you like? Are you a bulldozer that makes sure that you always get your way, or are you a tortoise who hides away from the fight, or maybe a bit of both? Jamie, I wondered, what are you like, by the way, if I do say so myself? I picture you to be a bulldozer. I've seen that.
Wow.
I've seen the feisty side in you.
It's been such a long time since I've been in a relationship, so I don't even think I know what animal I am anymore. But I like to think I'm a tortoise. I'm also I like to take things slow first, but when I'm ready, I will come for you.
There's a bulldozer hiding there.
There's definitely a bulldozer.
Let's see what Mzansi has to say, though.
Absolutely. We start off with Cleopatra. She says, I think I'm a bit of both. I confront issues that are dear to me and need to be ironed out. I hardly entangle myself and such, but when I do, it's for a good cause. People don't like it when you draw boundaries or call them out. So it's a good little
I think
balance.
it's a good balance. I really do. Now we've got another one from Duduzi8551, and now he says, a bit of both. Being a bulldozer has worked for an amazing way. The energy I apply in my situations, but then being a tortoise also worked for me because I tend to not rush into things sometimes, and I go into a necessary pace. So it's all about good timing, he says, and I like that. Applying these different nationalities to certain situations in your life. I think that's a good balance, yeah?
Definitely, and we have one more from Loazi saying, a bit of both. I know when I need to stand up for something or when to hold back. Well, connect with us. Keep letting those comments come through. We love connecting with you.
Indeed, and of course, later on the show, we are going to be chatting to Asha Dulab to give us more insight when it comes to confrontations in our relationship. So stick around for more.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso on SABC3, and every year on World Read Aloud Day, Nali Bali's mission to establish a culture of reading for enjoyment and improve childhood literacy across the nation reaches its peak as they encourage parents and caregivers to read aloud to their children in their home language with an original story written especially for the campaign.
Now this year their goal is to have their story, Fly Everyone Fly, read to 3 million children this World Read Aloud Day on Wednesday the 3rd of Feb, and we're being joined by the writer of the story, author Sihle Nonchokweni, as well as the Western Cape coordinator for Nalibali, Bulelani Fuchane, to share more about this initiative. So good to have both of you with us. It's been a year since I last saw you.
It's been a year, and the last time you were practicing some Xhosa, so I'm hoping you're coming right.
No pressure, no pressure.
You know what I love about this is I love that Nalibali encourages people to not only read aloud but in your home language, something that is so important. Now, Bulelani, I want to ask you, why is that so important, especially for Nalibali to, be behind this campaign, especially on World Read Aloud Day?
Well, I think it is important because as the campaign, we use World Read Aloud Day as the day for us to bring awareness and attention to the South African public at large in terms of the crisis that we face, in terms of the problem with literacy in South Africa, as we understand that almost 78% of the 10-year-olds are not able to read for meaning, and I guess when it comes to having to expose them to their mother tongue at the earlier stages, then they get to be accustomed to reading with understanding, which in a way will encourage them to want to pick up a book, in terms of being inspired to pick up a book in the later stages.
And I guess as a parent as well, it definitely helps with the confidence of the child to speak out loud and also understand what they're saying. Sihle, you have a very successful book under your belt called Wonder. It was your first book ever. Maybe you can share a little bit about the book and also why it was so important for you to get involved with this campaign for World Read Aloud Day.
Do you want me to tell you a bit more about Wonder or the Fly Africa Fly?
We can do both. We've got time, girl. We've got time.
So I think what the power of both books is really about the cultivation of a child's sense of confidence and identity and all that they can become under their own terms as well, right? So Wonder focuses on the power of knowing yourself and having confidence even regardless of what your hair looks like. I think we know what the climate of natural hair often is like, and people trying to alter themselves so that they feel a particular and think that they're more beautiful looking in a different kind of way. And what Fly Everyone Fly is about this young rural boy. His name is Africa. He's going to visit his grandmother in the suburbs, and he's on this bus that they're in. He's just like, if only we were on an airplane, right? And so he's never been on an airplane before, but he imagines it, right? And his mom says, you don't even have a car. Like, why are you imagining this? But he starts cultivating this in his mind, and when he sees his friends, when he gets to see his grandmother, he says, we were already on an airplane, which is not necessarily what happened, but he's been able to transport himself to another place and to allow his own imagination and dreaming to take him there. And I think that's really what both those stories are. And I think the more we read to children, we really invite them to that place of confidence for themselves, and they're able to show that to the world and become the best that they can be.
And I love that. I think it's so important, and especially, I know with Nalibali's World Read Aloud Day, the focus has majority been on primary school going children, but this is the first year you're also now tackling like preschoolers and their teachers and caregivers. What is the motivation behind that?
So as Nalibali, we partnered with PRAESA, which is the project of the study of alternative education in South Africa, where they did this research, at the ECD level, and they discovered that, because of the impact of COVID-19, almost 70% of the ECD centers will not be able to meet the PPE standards in terms of being able to comply in order to have the kids attending to those ECD centers, which basically means those ECD centers will automatically close. And this is the challenge because the majority of those kids, that's probably where they are mostly dependent in terms of getting to be exposed to the world of print when they attend to those ECD centers. So therefore, as Nalibali, we now now wanting to ensure that, people in homes, they understand that we have to transform our homes to be spaces where it can be stimulating environment for the children in terms of developing their literacy, skills. So, we're wanting to make sure now that we're not only accommodating primary school kids, but we are able to extend to the ECD level, because at the foundation phase is where we mostly need to cultivate this culture of reading.
I like that.
And we definitely have to change the way we do things this year. Cecily, of course, this year we're doing the virtual event, Wednesday the 3rd. Tell us a bit more about what people can expect for this.
What people can expect is an immersive reading. I think it matters to read to children in a way that engages them, that they want to be a part of, they find themselves physically moving in as well. And I think that's really the invitation to parents as well, that when you read to your child, use your voice, use your body, and that's what will be happening. We will be on the Nalibali Facebook page. That's where I'll be reading from on Monday at 1 o'clock. Our goal is to read to 3 million children this year. That's a record for Nalibali. And it's in all 11 languages, but I'll be reading in a mix between English and Xhosa and Zulu.
Oh, amazing. Are we allowed to get a sneak peek of Fly Everybody Fly is about?
Yes, definitely. Can we share?
Yes, please. We've got it here in front of us. There we go.
There you go.
Let's hear what Africa is up to.
Africa, Dintle and Mewa Africa were on a bus on their way to visit Gogo. Yay! Holidays at last, said Africa as he bounces up and down in his seat.
Shh! You wake your sister up, whispered Mewa Africa.
Sorry, Mama, whispered Africa.
Africa tried to sit still, but he couldn't. I wish this bus was an airplane, he said, as he put his arms out and pretended they were airplane wings. If we were flying, we would have been in Gogo's house a long time ago.
I know, said Mama, but please put your arms down before you poke your fingers in someone's eye.
But this bus is so slow, sighed Africa. We'll never get there.
It took hours, but at last the bus stopped and they could see Gogo waving to them. I was so excited that I got here early, said Gogo as she hugged and kissed them all.
We were on this bumpy, noisy, old bus for so long, Gogo, said Africa.
I know, smiled Gogo. Now let's get you all home. I have tea and cake waiting, and Neo and Bali will be home soon. That made Africa smile all the way to Gogo's house.
Oh, like this is why World Read Aloud Day is so special.
Absolutely.
Just listening to the two of you enact Africa's journey, it is so, so special. Thank you, Sishle. Thank you, Bulelani, for joining us this morning.
For having us.
And for sharing a snippet of what World Read Aloud Day is all about. And do not miss out, because I'm going to give you those details. If you would love to participate in the Power Reading for Enjoyment and Literacy this World Read Aloud Day. It is taking place on Wednesday. You can download Nalibali's story, Fly Everyone Fly. It is absolutely free. That website is nalibali.org. It is on your TV screens right now. And be sure to share your Read Aloud sessions on Nalibali's Facebook and Twitter platforms. That's at Nalibali SA, and use that hashtag MyWRAD2021.
I'll go. But one of you said, oh, he's back. Move way.
Clover fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover.
It's a Monday, and you know how we do Mondays here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's all about inspiring you to look at the alternative side of life. It's all about meat-free Mondays. Yes, veganuary is gone, but as we start a brand new month, hopefully you are still inspired to keep on that trajectory. And this morning, cauliflower is taking center stage. Yes, we're putting the good old cauliflower to the spotlight, or under the spotlight, as we make our delicious Clover fresh milk cauliflower fritters recipe, which Ryle is going to show us how to to make, right?
They are indeed, Tubbs, and I love the fact that we're doing a meat-free alternative.
Yes.
As usual, but there is an option if you don't want to do that, which I'll talk to you guys about later. But let's get into the good stuff. You ready to
Let us do
work
that.
with me? I'm going to ask for some of your assistance later on.
Are you
But before
sure
we
you
get
want
there-
some of my assistance to rile?
I do. You know why? Because you're going to be doing something special. That's the sauce. And you are looking like you are just serving Mzansi today with that look. So why not serve us with the sauce
Well,
too?
what's fritters without a bit of sauce, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Let's go.
All right, Tubbs. So it's very, very simple. Mzansi, you guys at home, you can join in. And just a quick shout out to Rizka, who's celebrating her birthday today. I know she's going to be celebrating with us, so she can cook along too. So have a special one. So what I got here is cauliflower, our main ingredient. Absolutely superb. It's healthy. It's got good fiber as well.
You've
And
made it quite flaky. What have you done there?
So it's called pulsing. So you normally get that KitchenAid, or you kind of just like tear it apart and rip it and shred it. So it's shredded cauliflower that I've got here, which we're kind of going to use to create a patty. All right. So I got the cauliflower in here. Next step, very simple, putting in some flour. All right. Then I've got some grated Parmesan cheese.
We love cheese.
Yeah, and of
you know
course,
what? I love cheese.
Yeah, of course, if you are fully vegan, then of course a cheese substitute is going to be really good here. Parmesan, obviously coming from dairy, is not going to tick that box. So you do get cheese alternatives made from coconut and various other options.
Of course.
Which you can add in here. Then we got 2 eggs as usual. Again, you don't need an egg as a binder. You can use something else. Again, if you want to go vegan, something like, I would say even a banana works. Crazy. You can get really different and cool binding
You really
agents.
can play with it. You
Yeah.
really can make it your own.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And then just to kind of make it all, give it a little bit of a pop and rise, I've got some baking powder in there. And then some pinches of seasoning. We've got salt and pepper
Not
coming
one
in there.
pinch, just some pinches.
Pinches,
Some
yes.
pinches.
The other very fun part, of course, we're going to mix this all up. Let me just use this instead and get it all worked in. Now, Tubbs, this is the fun part. You get the family involved, get everyone involved.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that this is where you can kind of divert from this menu and this meal. So we're going for more of a meat-free alternative here, right? But what you can also do with this batch, although we are making fritters, if you wanted to get creative, you could kind of take an egg, right? And get some batter. Turn these into balls. And you could crisp up some cauliflower balls as well. How's
Look
that
at
for
the amount of stuff you can do with cauliflower when you really do apply yourself. And of course, we're going to be making use of our Clover full cream fresh milk, which, I mean, we absolutely love, because thanks to Triple Protect, which it does come with, Clover's fresh milk does stay fresh for up to 18 days. 18 days freshness. Think about that. And of course, Triple Protect does ensure that you get superior quality with every litre of Clover fresh milk undergoing double purification and 80 quality tests. They really do care about the quality standards that the milk does go through. And of course, it's got a special cooling technology that ensures that it's kept at the right temperature and ultra clean packaging. I mean, as you can see, ultra clean packaging to lock in that freshness. Love it.
Beautiful stuff, Tubbs. Bringing in the goods there. Now, I've just made my mixture, and what I'm doing is I'm taking a spoonful of it. It kind of looks like a slaw that you'd get on a side on your braai. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very, very similar texture. That is a good thing. I've made sure that I've mixed everything up, allowed that egg to kind of bind.
What's in there? Just some oil.
Literally, I've just put some oil in the pan. It's quite hot, but now what we want to do is kind of brown them on each side. So a quick dollop over there. There you go. You got that sizzle. Let me add another one in just for the gears, of course.
Yeah. I really love how comfortable you are, or how comfortable you've become in the kitchen, Raul, because, you know, when you joined us here, it was a little bit clumsy.
It was a bit shaky, eh?
And a bit shaky, but now the recipes that you keep popping through are just so magical, and you do it with so much flair.
I gotta say, I think it's the veganuary in me that has just come to life. Of course, when it comes to...
You are enjoying that so much. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to get my recipe, which is the sauce going on there. We've got some sour cream here. I've got some garlic powder, which I'm going to throw into the sour cream. Okay, so that's going to go in right now.
So that's garlic powder you've got in there. All right,
yeah,
nice,
going into our sour cream. Then you got some chives. Let's be honest, the herbs are good. You want to make sure that you get some of your favorite ones in there. And for me, chives are the girl that we think they are. No.
All that they are.
No. The chives are that girl. I promise you. And then you've got Clover full cream fresh milk, which I'm going to add into the mix there. This is, of course, to make sure that you get that beautiful richness and the creaminess coming together so nicely. I'm going to get a little bit more in there.
You know, Tubbs, it's quite crazy that I didn't realize how much I actually use milk of late. It's something that I've always steered away from initially, but I can't anymore. The fact that you can add it to a sauce, to a dish, cream up anything, give it that extra pizzazz. I can't stop anymore.
Milk is a hero, let's be honest. How many recipes have been saved by the creaminess that you can get from milk? So to make our sauce, I mean, it's very, very simple. All you do is just whisk, 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 whisk. And while that's browning nicely, you're getting this ready. Then you can pop this in the fridge, let's say for about 2 hours so that it can nicely set if you want to do that. Otherwise, you can make it a day or two ahead of time. It'll still be really good.
Definitely. I think you can keep something like that in the fridge for at least maybe 2 days max. So if you're making a lot of fritters and you put a lot of cauliflower, you got the perfect option. Tubbs, I'm pretty much ready on my side. The browning is Chef Clem approving.
Okay, I love that. Look at that.
So I'm going to place that in there, of course, to match up with the rest of the batch that I made earlier when I had more time, of course.
And that's pretty much what it looks like when it's all set, ready, and done. And it looks so, so good. Listen, if you want this recipe, please do cook along with us. Go onto our website. It's www.expressoshow.com. And there you will find this recipe. We've listed all the steps involved, as well as all the ingredients you are going to be needing to bring it to life. And of course, if you want to take it to a whole new level, dip into, some eggs into breadcrumbs as well. You can make those and put them on the side. You have to taste it, Ral, and tell us what you think. Look at you.
I think we should go after higher.
You are loving that. He's loving it.
Yes,
go make it. Expressoshow.com.
Made with love by Clover. Oh, you can make my day.
I'll go. But one of you say, oh, he's back. Move way.
Clover fresh milk.
Made with love by Clover. It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked. It has been a wonderful, inspirational, enriching Monday morning, and it's only getting better. Starting out as a ballet dancer and then moving into professional dancing during her first career, we'll call it, Noah Belling then taught and wrote extensively about the benefits of yoga, staying very much within her body. Now she integrates many movement and body works arts into her latest body-based mindfulness approach, which sounds amazing, and that she applies in her psychotherapy practice as well as in her own life, which is the best endorsement.
I mean, look, she's done such an incredible job compiling her teachings into a new book. It's called The Happiness Workout. Yes, it's already got you excited, right?
Love that.
Which teaches the reader to cultivate happiness by honing certain physical skills such as strength, flexibility, and grounding. And she joins us this morning to share more about how we can use these tools to keep our minds and our bodies happy. Noah, good morning.
You can always tell when I'm like a dog, like, I just want to ask you, because I love this approach. I've been a firm believer in that we don't connect with our bodies early enough in our lives. It's only as an adult that we start learning martial arts or yoga or one of these amazing things that you think that should be the grounding.
That's right.
That should be where we begin. What's led you through to this point where you are now, where you've decided, I have to take it beyond just applying it to my own life, but releasing an amazing book and applying it in your own psychotherapy?
The body-mind relationship is my ultimate inspiration. Whenever we bring our awareness into our bodies, it can be really empowering in ways that we might not realize. And so my inspiration has really been all that my body awareness has allowed me, all the way back from being a ballet dancer and stepping out on stage and discovering, wow, I can really do something with those nerves backstage and transform it into grace and confidence. And through the journey of yoga and then studying the psychology of the body-mind relationship, really feeling so inspired to offer these tools because they are just so empowering.
Yeah. And you have a very interesting degree, Noah, in somatic psychology, which is really all about the connection between the mind and the body, which, I mean, obviously, I imagine you do apply in your psychotherapy practice, but how exactly do you do that?
So if you were to come and see me, we would talk about your challenges, and I would also spend time asking you to go inward and feel into the experience in your body. So for example, let's take fear or worry as an example. If you were to imagine yourself feeling afraid right now, notice what happens. Usually it's a little bit of a tightening of the breath, maybe
Stop
a furrow.
breathing almost. Yeah.
That's right, and the brow is furrowing.
Yeah.
Now hold this for a moment and try to feel happy. Don't shift your posture. How did that go?
Wow, not so well.
Yeah. Now do the opposite. Place your feet, 2 feet on the ground.
Yep.
Sit up tall, take a nice deep breath. Hold your head up high, even place a little smile on your face. Now try to feel sad.
You can't do it almost.
You can't do it. There's actually more information that comes from your nervous system up to inform how you feel than from your brain down, although many of us live our lives without realizing that, and we walk around carrying our fears, our worries, without realizing how much we can influence how we feel through our bodies, which is...
Release that diaphragm.
That's it.
Incredible.
And you have the most amazing posture.
Yeah, look at that.
We've ever seen, just as a wonderful byproduct. How does, and I know I'm asking you to summate your life's work into one sentence, but how does this physical activity allow us to tap into these positive benefits from your experience?
I'm going to break it up into the skills that I hone into in the happiness workout, which are 4 skills that will stimulate your feel-good biochemistry. For example, let's try it out now. If you place 2 feet on the ground and place your hips more squarely on the seat, it can have a calming effect. Now, I want to caution against sitting too tall and holding yourself too tightly. Really relax into that. Let gravity take your weight downwards. It can have a calming and relaxing effect, actually helping to stimulate our feel-good biochemicals, particularly serotonin, when we calm down. And there are other movements as well. For example, if we bring in our mobility, our physical movement, shake out our bodies, even stretch, it can increase how alive we feel and can stimulate feel-good biochemicals like dopamine. So that link is inherent to whenever we use our bodies, bring body awareness in this mindful kind of way, it can actually stimulate our feel-good biochemistry.
And I was going to add, it's So amazing. We always look to an emotional or intellectual answer to these massive things without thinking that just by making one small adjustment to the physical state, that you can start that process.
And it's all in your body, so you don't have to look too far. You can really do it anywhere and under whatever situation or circumstance you find yourself in. But Noah, you have other best-selling titles that focus on the practice of yoga as a tool to really get our mind and our bodies connected. Your two latest books are we see you finally stepping into pure somatic psychology in your writings. Why have you made helping people in South Africa, or I suppose people all over the world who are able to read your book, such a big mission of yours?
Because of how empowering mindful body awareness, as opposed to judgmental body awareness that takes ourselves out of ourselves, this mindful body awareness, because of how empowering it can be actually as a personal change agent and potentially also by extension as a social change agent.
Do you still dance?
Sometimes.
Well, you look like it. Are you going to dance for us?
Definitely not.
Oh, come on, Noah. Come on.
Don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you. We dance, we sing, we do all of this. I think this show, we intuitively tap into that mind-body link. But this is some powerful stuff. Thank you so much. All the best of success with releasing this new baby into this world. I know it must be quite a stressful thing in its own right, releasing a book, but it looks phenomenal. And just picking up on the energy and just what we've spoken about now, I think it's going to help a lot of people. So thank you so much and well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And all of these certainly things we can do in whatever space we find ourselves in. If you're sitting in traffic, if you're sitting in the bathroom, when you do get a break, just do a bit of posture work, some breathing, and cultivate happiness and draw from the teachings in Noah Billing's new book, The Happiness Workout, which is available from all leading book and online retailers. So you must go out there and buy it. We'll be back with Noah as she takes us through an exercise that uses some physical skills to happiness, or rather of happiness. So go out there and order your copy of the book while you wait for us to get into that when we do return.
Just ground yourself.
We are definitely looking forward to that happiness workout to spread positivity for this Monday, because as you know, we're all about the positivity to kickstart your day, kickstart this month, and kickstart this week into the feel goodness. But of course, we are back with Cheswin Ray and Marco Mentor on the keys, and this time they are switching things up a bit with an Afrikaans song, Na die Kruis. Gentlemen, take it away.
Ek wag nie meer volle redding sal ek vind na die kruis kom ek weer swak en nietig arm en blind ja ek kom ek wag nie meer volle redding sal ek vind want ek vertrou op die genade Jesus lam van Golgotha nie terugkom ek voor U staan red my nou en neem my aan sonde het my vastgeklem laat moes ek daaronder lê maar toe ek Jesus stem
performance by Chase and Ray Marcomento on the keys. It is still Gospel Mondays here on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and there's another performance coming your way, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a moment.
Looking for fantastic health and weight loss benefits without a lifestyle change or being on a diet? Well, Shapeline 50 Billion from Proven Probiotics is the first ever probiotic to offer scientifically proven weight loss, while at the same time boosting immune and digestive health. That's why we think Shapeline 50 Billion may well be the world's most effective probiotic. Available at Dis-Chem and Clicks.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. Yes, it's Monday, and yes, you are locked in at your Feel Good Breakfast Show right here. Now, we've learned about the skills that you can use to cultivate happiness when you focus on your mind-body connection from psychotherapist and author Noah Belling. And now she's talking and taking us through a somewhat of an exercise that features in a new book, The Happiness Workout. Now, these are activities that anyone with any physicality can perform, and we're encouraging everybody at home right now to either stand up or remain seated, but please do engage with your body and let's spark some happiness. Noah, let's take it away. I'm so excited for this. I heard your chat earlier, something that I am an activist for, something that I truly believe in. So I'm here. I can't wait. Let's do it.
So to start with, I'll just say these are an introduction to the 4 physical skills that can stimulate different aspects of our feel-good biochemistry. And I'm offering them all together as an opportunity to taste each one. And I'm going to ask you at the end which one you feel you need most today.
So I'm getting a little trailer right now.
That's right.
Oh,
and for viewers as well, to ask yourselves which one you feel like you need most and perhaps to use it a couple of times through your day and week.
Okay, brilliant.
Shall
So Mzansi, you guys heard the call. We want everybody to get involved with this, and you can join me and try figure out which one of these you might prefer, but let's take it away.
All right, the first one is to boost your energy, get your motivation going, and this one is to loosen up your body. Give your body a little bit of a shake out.
Okay, so I'm just shaking out?
You can shake out your arms and legs, give your feet even a little shake out. Another way to do that is to just reach, stretch. Sometimes we yawn when we do that. And notice how it can, even just in a few seconds, increase a kind of a tingly aliveness that you might feel in your body.
I'm getting tingles, and I don't know if this is to do with my training, but my chest is tight, and I'm feeling like this opening and a tingling. Is that correct?
And we tend to take deeper breaths, and this can stimulate our lovely excitability and dopamine kind of happiness qualities. Then we've got our grounding. If we need some calm, if we need some inner peace, place your 2 feet on the ground. If you're standing, if you're sitting, place your 2 hips evenly on your seat, and then rise your posture up as if you're pressing down through your feet, through your tailbone, so that your standing is nice and grounded and centered. And take a moment with a nice deep breath and a long exhalation that can help you ground. These are all those qualities like more inner quiet, more inner peace, more serenity. The third quality I'm going to introduce is your strength, which is your ability to rise above your challenges. And this you can even stimulate by standing tall, holding your head up high, feeling the strength of your body to hold you upright. In the happiness workout, there also are exercises where we engage our strength, whether it's lifting up our shopping bags or engaging our muscles through doing simple exercises. This can help us feel stronger in ourselves, feel able to really overcome any challenges that we might face. And the fourth quality is if you place your hand over your heart, this stimulates your feel-good oxytocin, which is your snuggle and cuddle hormone. And this is all about love, being kinder and gentler towards yourself. And if you feel up for it, being able to share that outwards, energetically into the world and the space around you. Do you know that if you share love outwards, if you feel warmth in your heart and you send it out energetically to someone who may need it, or to the world, to all living beings even, it can help you to feel stronger in yourself and help you with any particularly emotional challenges. And don't forget to come back to fill yourself with that warmth, to fill yourself with that nourishment that, I call it, warm-heartedness can offer. So those were the 4 skills. And I wanted to ask you, those small little interventions that we can use maybe once or twice a day when we feel we need a little lift, which one did you feel like you resonated most with today?
So I've got to just say this, the last one that you gave me with regards to the heart, I do feel like I'm very blessed to work on a show like this where we get to share that love.
Yes.
So I resonate with the fact that I can really agree with you when I say when you give out love, you really get it back in return.
Absolutely.
But one thing that stood out with me today was I often do your first exercise before I go through an event, the shake off the preparation, and that's such a great way to just get rid of all the last bits of poison before you go into that world. But to answer your question specifically, number 2 was just perfect for me, especially when you come into this environment. It's fast-paced, there's so much going on. I think that grounding exercise where you just take that moment to just reconnect and be present with yourself, it's something that we are all lacking in this day and age. So I think from Mzansi at home, I think you definitely will agree with me. That second one was really a favorite, just to get grounding and have that intention set for the day. So number 2 for me was a goodie, especially in this chaotic world that we live in right now. So I think Mzansi will definitely agree with me, especially during this pandemic, that's a brilliant tool I think that we could use. And I'm interested in doing everything. Although you gave me a trailer on all 4 versions, I would love to explore it all more, and I think Mzansi would agree with me. So thank you so much,
My
Noah.
pleasure. If I could just add one more quick word, is that these are all qualities that you can practice on the spot to increase them on the spot no matter what your moment is, as well as develop them over time with longer workouts, developing your body in particular ways that helps you develop these skills.
I couldn't agree more. I was stressed because I had to go change into my gym gear, and Lucian, our director's like, no, chill, relax. This is the happiness workout. You can do it anywhere, however you are. So I got to keep my uniform on, and I think that's the best part. Anyone and everyone can do this. So Noah, thank you so much. We look forward to seeing more of your work and spread more happiness as you are, because I think Mzansi is just absolutely loving it.
Thank you very much for having me.
So we're going to continue on our happiness journey this morning. We are sparking happiness by rooting into our physicality today with Noah's help. And another way to keep your mind and your body happy is by giving it the nourishment it needs, by spending a bit of time and energy, investing that into your body in an innovative way when it comes to a smoothie. And that's why we are diving into this nutrition-packed and oh so tasty summer berry breakfast smoothie. And I'm going to ask Noah to join us to help me work through the dynamics here. Noah, we're going to see if we can stress you out, okay, by throwing you into the kitchen and making a smoothie. I was doing the workout with you and going through the steps. Thank you so much. It's just so nice to have a practical go-to.
Yes.
You can imagine in our environment where it's this constant kind of up and down, and you've got so many different energies influencing you. So I think you've probably helped a lot of us in a very fundamental way. Are you up for helping me make a smoothie?
I'm going to make the smoothie.
Yes, I will guide you through it. We will talk through it. But we obviously look at holistic health. How important is it for you to eat right?
Yeah, extremely healthy. And of course, it matches how I'm feeling. So on days when I'm not feeling so great, that doesn't go so well. And when I am feeling better, or when I invest in my health, that really does make a big difference.
I think we all emotionally eat. So what I'm going to ask you to do, we've got some very healthy ingredients here. If you can pop them into our dish, we've got obviously our fresh selection of berries, very rich in antioxidants. Unless you want something that's going to be helping you feel lighter, not heavier, obviously. We've got some yogurts, and that you can use your preference. Obviously, some healthy bacteria is going into the gut. And obviously, your emotional health does kind of stem from the gut. And then we have got some oats going in there as well. And then the real star of the show is the beetroot powder. Helps with your cardiovascular health, absolutely vital additionally. And then we've got some dates just for a little bit of additional sweetness going in. Is this kind of something that you would go for?
Absolutely.
And then if you can top it up with the water. And I mean, apart from the colors that we know just pop and explode and kind of get our body understanding what we're going to be getting, then I'm going to finish this off for you. So what is your normal routine for someone who lives in this happy space? How do you, because you can't feel that way all the time, but you've got the tools, how do you start your day? How do you get yourself into that right mindset?
My ideal day starts with a few quiet moments. I have children, and that day starts pretty hectically, so I will get up a little bit earlier and make sure that I choose my favorite of the physical skills that cultivate my feel-good biochemistry, whether it's a bit of yoga, a bit of mindfulness, a bit of shaking out, whatever I feel like I need. To set the tone for the day.
Kids, how old are your kids?
11 and 6.
So full on. See, I've got a 9-month and a 3-year-old, and my 3-year-old is physically very demanding, but also now entering that phase where I feel like I've got to give him more as a parent, and I'm relishing the opportunity to parent him. Do you use this in that relationship? How do your children respond to this, and how are you able to weave it into that space?
The earlier for me that I introduced berries and vegetables, fresh vegetables, has cultivated their love of it. So they will eat some healthy food, and of course they love the unhealthy food too. But I found the earliest I normalized it, and my husband and I normalized it, that it really made a difference.
Do they dance? Do they have this physical mind-body connection?
They like to dance naturally, and they're starting some dance lessons, which is great.
I love it, man. I can't wait. I think my son he's unfortunately inherited my lack of musicality now, but I've got high hopes for him. Okay, let's... There we go. Well, hopefully this in some way repays what you've given all of us this morning, which has been a breath of fresh air. So if I could ask you, for someone who is maybe struggling with that mind-body connection, what would your last piece of advice be?
Focus on your heart. Try and be a little bit kinder and gentler towards yourself. If you're going through a hard time, see if you can even send a little love towards yourself. And maybe share love outwards to others who are going through challenges. That can also help you to feel stronger in yourself.
I'm going to share a little bit of love with you.
Thank you very much.
You've been absolutely amazing. I mean, there's enough judgment in the world already. Exactly. Let's stop judging ourselves. Thank you so much for bringing us a practical approach to connecting with our bodies. I love the idea of spreading more love in the world. That's what our show is all about, as Raul said. So thank you for being a part of that.
Thank you for having me.
And I hope you have the most amazing day. Cheers. And cheers to you. Hopefully you are feeling better already as well.
you ready for a sizzling summer holiday in Mzansi? Your best holiday is yet to come when you book at any participating Marriott branded hotel. Redefine your holiday with a beach break, nature retreat, or a road trip adventure. With the Marriott Summer Holiday offer, you can enjoy 25% off standard hotel rates, including free breakfast if you're a Marriott Bonvoy member and 15% if you're a non-Bonvoy member. Book on Marriott.com for the best rates guaranteed.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
It is your feel-good breakfast show right here on SABC3. It is Monday and we always talk about relationships on a Monday. And this morning on our Good Morning Post, we're asking you what type of relationship do you put out there? Are you a bulldozer who makes sure you get your way? Are you a tortoise who hides away from the fight, or a bit of both? And we would of course love to hear from you. So this comments came through and maybe we can read some for us.
Yes, well let's take a look at the first one that came through from Esther Leah that says, good morning Expresso family. All I can say is that I'm an eagle. I don't live among the chickens. All I do is live my life spiritually. Thank you for sharing that.
Go on, eagle. We have another one from Nomaswazi saying, I must say I'm a bit of both. I say this because it depends on what the confrontation is about and who I'm having it with. When it's with my family, I'm the tortoise because when it comes to them, I don't want to fight continuously. I would bend over backwards for them. If it's a stranger, my bulldozer side will come out. I fight so that people don't take advantage of me, as many people has used me in the past. Well,
oh wow, so a bit of both. Also, Jason replied and said, acting as the tortoise allows you to deal with the scenario wisely, where both parties are able to come out better. Bulls create more mess around them. Someone always ends up hurt. Be smart and think before you act. Leave and come back later if your inner bull starts showing its head. So very interesting from Jason.
Of course, we're going to unpack all of that with relationship expert Asha Dulab in just a moment. But first, we're going to get on to those news headlines with Uncle Tabs.
Thank you very much, team. It's 8 o'clock. Time for us to take a look at those news headlines. We start off here at home in South Africa. 3 elephants which escaped from the Hluhluwe Umfolozi Park of KwaZulu-Natal have been put down. This after 5 of them were spotted on communal land outside the park at the weekend. A KZN wildlife spokesperson said that they had managed to drive 2 elephants back, but when they returned to try and coax the other 3 to return, they were already some 7 kilometers into the community area. They realized that driving them back to the game reserve would pose a threat to the locals, so they had to be put down. Beneficiaries of the 350 Rand COVID-19 grant that ended yesterday are pleading with the government to not only extend payments, but also to increase the amount. The grant was implemented to support those without an income during the pandemic. It was meant to end last October, but the government extended it by 3 months. Over 6 million people were approved to receive the grant in the country. In international news, sexual and reproductive health advocates in Africa have welcomed the news that US President Joe Biden has reversed a ban on federal funds going to international aid groups that perform or inform about abortions. Some sexual health clinics in Africa were forced to close after the 2017 elections, which Donald Trump, of course, won when he did go and cut funding to organizations that provided contraception and safe abortion services. Now means more women can get essential reproductive health care, including contraceptives as well as HIV and cancer screening, and save other lives. Thousands of Russians took part in unauthorized protests this weekend to demand the release of the jailed opposition leader Alexei Navalny. Moscow police detained more than 5,000 people. Police also closed metro stations and blocked off the city center. Navalny was jailed for his return, or rather on his return, a few weeks ago to Russia after recovering in Germany from an attempt to kill him with a nerve agent. He blames the security services for the attack, but the Kremlin has denied this. And now news of what Cyclone Eloise brought apart from lashing rain. Many animals have of late been displaced and showing up in strange places due to the heavy rains brought in by Cyclone Eloise. And Angel and Jaco Breitenbach of Northwest Province can vouch for this, because a few mornings ago there was an enormous crocodile hanging around in their swimming pool. Angel's comment on spotting the huge reptile enjoying a swim in the pool was said to be a cool, "Hey man, only in South Africa. Fortunately, Angel and her hubby had checked their security cameras before letting their animals out. It is believed that the croc had strolled over from a nearby flooded river due to all the rain. And this, according to the Wild Heart Wildlife Foundation's Facebook page. The foundation removed the croc's uninjured, or rather the croc was removed uninjured, and it was placed in a secure area from where it will be released back into its natural habitat after being checked out by the Department of Nature Conservation. The Wild Heart Wildlife Foundation is a small non-profit organization making a huge impact via ethical conservation and is committed to putting the welfare of wildlife first. What a guest to have by your pool. That's where we leave it for this morning. A final look at what's happening in sports with Graham.
Thanks so much, Tabisa. Let's kick it off with cricket. Debutant Noman Ali took 5 wickets as host Pakistan recorded a 7-wicket win over South Africa on the 4th afternoon of their first test at the National Stadium in Karachi on Friday. Pakistan needed only 88 runs ultimately to win after the Proteas were bowled out for just 245 in their second innings. The hosts reaching their target before tea with Azhar Ali hitting an unbeaten 31. The second and final test in Rawalpindi starts on this Thursday. Then, of course, 3 T20 matches to look forward to between Pakistan and South Africa. Well, the same nations do battle on the ladies' front. The Proteas women took a 2-0 lead in their 3-match T20 international series to take this series against Pakistan. That was after beating the visitors by 18 runs in their second T20 match in Durban yesterday. A second successive half-century by the informed Tasman Brits, who smashed 66 from just 58 deliveries. And then fast bowler Shabnim Ismail weighing in, picking up 5 wickets on the day, guided South Africa to the win. Then on Friday, the South Africans, they beat Pakistan by 8 wickets in that first T20 match. The third and final T20 will take place on Wednesday. That kicks off at 3 p.m. On to rugby news. The Springbok women will face France in their Rugby World Cup opener in New Zealand, starting, of course, in September this year. South Africa will face the French, who are currently 4th on the women's World Rugby rankings. The Pool C clash between the Bok women and France will take place at Eden Park on Saturday, the 18th of September, starting at 4:15 in the afternoon. The rest of South Africa's Pool C fixtures, and it's a tough pool, will be against England and Fiji, and those will happen later in September. The 2021 Women's Rugby World Cup will take place between the 18th of September and 16th of October. Then bringing it back home locally, it doesn't get much bigger. The Bulls have been crowned Currie Cup champions. That's for the first time since 2009, after defeating the Sharks 26-19 in a nail-biting final at Loftus Versfeld in Pretoria on Saturday. The dramatic final went to extra time after the scores were tied at 19 apiece after 80 minutes. Then Springbok loose forward Arno Botha scoring a try in the 98th minute to secure the win for the hosts. So this was the second title of the reworked season for the Bulls, of course winning the Super Rugby Unlocked title 2 months before that and being the form team all season. And bringing it back to South Africa, or staying in South Africa, but back to football, the Soweto Derby Showdown hosted at the Orlando Stadium on Saturday went in favour of Orlando Pirates. That was after they edged out age-old rivals Kaizer Chiefs 2-1 in the Premier Soccer League. Goals by Teme Nkosi Loch and Sepesihle Ndlovu confirming the win and bragging rights for the Buccaneers. Other major results from the weekend, we saw our defending PSL champions Mamelodi Sundowns solidify their top spot, beating Chippa United 2-0. SuperSport United and Swallows FC will feel like they both dropped points, playing out to a 1-1 draw. And Baroka FC and Cape Town City, they shared the spoils 1 apiece. The PSL action that continues tomorrow night. Then staying with the beautiful game, the weekend in the English Premier League, through some surprise results, not for Manchester City. They do remain at the top of the standings, beating bottom of the log Sheffield United 1-0 at the Etihad. No goals scored in the biggest match of the weekend, however, between Arsenal and Manchester United. Typically emotional affair. That match, though, ending 0-0. And then last night, reigning champions Liverpool, they moved up to 3rd on the log, claiming a 3-1 win over a high-riding West Ham United. And then Leicester City suffering a shock 3-1 loss to Leeds United. And then Spurs suffering a 1-0 loss to Brighton. A bit of a shock there as well. The English Premier League football will continue tomorrow evening from 8 p.m. Well, thanking Cookie, our contributor, earlier again, and all of you for your support. That's a wrap of your sport for today.
And looking at your weather one last time, we are also wrapping up your weather report by recapping the images sent in by our viewers. A big thank you to John Laliswa from Sasolburg, Louise G. Cherry, who we spoke to earlier from Alberton, Umu Gloria from Rustenburg, as well as Theo Makatini for sharing these stunning photos with us. Now we look forward to sharing some more pictures tomorrow morning, so if you would love to also be part and feature on our sunrise segment, head on over to the Expresso Facebook page and share your sunrises, share those sunrises from wherever you may be. Some quick news. The South African National Park spokesperson Isaac Patla says the Kruger National Park is on high alert due to the South African Weather Service warning of heavy rainfall returning to Limpopo and Mpumalanga today and tomorrow. He said the park was cooperating with the Weather Service as well as people who monitor river systems outside the park. In this manner, the park and its residents are made aware of rising rivers either upstream or downstream, and several camps and bridges are currently inaccessible due to continued heavy rainfall in the Limpopo area. Patla gave the assurance that the park's disaster management teams are on full standby. Meanwhile, the Weather Service has warned of more possible disruptive rainfall across Gauteng today and also issued an alert for warning. Well, that's where we leave your weather news. Let's take a quick and final look at your temperatures. Rain is expected in Polokwane today with a low of 17, a high of 26. Mbombela 17:30. Pretoria 14:26. Thunder showers can be expected in Johannesburg, a low of 13, a high of 23. Mahikeng 18, reaching a high of 27. Thunder showers in Klerksdorp 15 with a high of 28. Partly cloudy conditions in Kimberley with a high of 32. Bloemfontein 13, reaching a high of 30. Thunder showers can be expected in Richards Bay 19, reaching a high of 26. Rain in Pietermaritzburg 14:25. Thunder showers in Durban with a high of 27 for today. Mthatha 9, reaching a high of 20. If you're in East London, 15 with a high of 21. Craddock 8 with a high of 22. Partly cloudy conditions in Port Elizabeth with a high of 22. Rain is expected in George today with a low of 11, a high of 20. It's partly cloudy in Cape Town today, reaching a high of 23. Worcester 12 with a high of 26. If you're in Sutherland, 7's your low, 20 your high, and Uppington, partly cloudy conditions with a low of 19 and a high of 35 degrees Celsius. Well, thank you once again for those beautiful sunrise photos, and remember, share those with us on the Expresso Facebook page.
Yeah, thank you so much for all of that inspiration. Let's continue on that track. Our next story, a French-Swiss artist by the name of Guillaume Legros, aka Sape, is on a mission to create the largest symbolic human chain around the world. I love that idea, promoting values of togetherness, of kindness, of openness to the world. Boy, don't we need that message right now. He's currently plying his trade in Cape Town, and he's already created works in Sea Point, in Philippi, and Langa. And Sape now joins us on the line right now, but I understand he's not in SA right now. Sape, a very good morning. Where in the world do we find you right now?
Hi. I just came back in Switzerland now, so I have to do a quarantine. So I'm in Switzerland in my studio.
Mr. International himself, brother. Now listen, you're saying that the world could be a lot better if we were kinder to one another. So how do you hope that your Beyond the Walls project will help promote kindness to one another?
Yes, I mean, you know, I really tried that art can change some line in society, you know, because it's a universal language. Everybody can understand directly without words. So for me, it's very powerful, and to share ideas about togetherness, I think it's a very beautiful way. So, you know, doing it and to show that some people, because we are 3 childhood friends in my team, wanted to share a mystic message, hope, and I think that it's inspiring for the people, and that's it. You know, it's like a work on ideas, and then then when I do the project directly on site, there was a lot of people come around and we can speak with these kind of people. We can make some conference, and a lot of time the picture made all the world is seeing by all the world, in fact, everywhere. So that share the message from me.
The beauty of it in this case is I get to go explain to my 3-year-old child what's going on and feel that emotion with him. We're looking at visuals of just how stunning it looks from the sky. Absolutely beautiful. Quite an undertaking, quite a massive project. How did the idea first come about?
The first thing is just, as I said, I trust that art can change the world. I've got a lot of experience that with one of my projects, some things change in a political system in a country. And then I saw the commentary about the budget of the world of Donald Trump, which is something like $18 billion. And I was like, wow, with this money, what we could do, and I really trust that it's only together that humanity can respond to the biggest challenge of our time. We are in a link world, and I think we have to find a global solution every time. So from this idea, I thought, I will speak about that, creating the biggest human chain in the world. That's it.
All right. Well, let me talk to you about this, man. So you're creating the longest human chain across different continents. Okay. So how long, firstly, has this project even been in the making? Like, when did this all start? When did this idea come about?
Yeah, at the beginning, we start from the front of the Eiffel Tower, and then I thought, we have to do all around the world, and the idea would be to make it for 5 years and more than 30 cities in the world. But more I do it, more I think, why do not do all the country in the world, which is kind of 200 in the world, and for 10 years, I don't know. It's the only thing is, it's very hard to do it because I do something like 20 kilometers a day, and it's very, I would just say it in English, but I'm tired, So I don't know. If I can do it, I will do all the country in the world.
Come on, you don't understand how...
You are tired, Bru, and I completely understand that. Istanbul, Berlin, some iconic spots, but you chose here in South Africa, Sea Point, thankfully, so we've been able to see it firsthand. Philippi and Langa. Why these locations? How do you go about selecting the location for your art?
Yes, I think that in each spot that I choose, speak about an idea. Like in Paris, it's very symbolic. Everybody knows the Eiffel Tower, but I can in South Africa to speak about how it is important to stay together because of the black story of apartheid. I know that everybody knows this kind of issues, And then I thought, if I come only in Sea Point, it's a beautiful, a very symbolic place because we can see the lion's head and we directly know what we are in Cape Town. But I have to show all the diversity of the city. That's why I choose to go in Philippi and in Langa to speak about how it is important to speak to everybody too, Sea Point is not only Cape Town. So to show the diversity of the city, I wanted to go in each play that I could. I would do more, but it's not possible. It's for the time that I have, it's not possible.
Now, I got to say, obviously, the fact that you've been doing this all around the world, when I first came across your work, I thought to myself, man, this guy's going around the world just like vandalizing our beautiful parks, gee. Like he's destroying our grass and nature. And I'm like, whoa, why are we publicizing this criminal? Little did I realize, man, that your frescoes, they're actually made from a biodegradable substance. So everything you're applying to the grass, it's all Nature Boy approved, I believe. Tell me more about this, man, because this is where I get my ears raising. This is what I love.
I love the concept because when the people see me painting the grass, a lot of people said, what is doing this guy? Is burning the grass, so I don't know. And then when we speak about the paint, they said, okay, it's cool. because when I started to paint on grass, it was 6 years ago, maybe more or less, and I directly think I have to find a new way to don't damage the nature, because I don't make sense if I paint and I damage nature. So for 1 year, I start to make little square in the garden of my parents and make some tests to understand how the paint work on grass, because for the moment I'm the only one in the world to do it. So I took 1 year to learn about the technique, the recipe, and then I found a recipe only with the protein of milk, which is called casein, the chalk and charcoal. That's it. Wow. And then to be sure that I don't damage the nature, I make some tests on the biodiversity, on the nature, and I send the pigments to a laboratory in Paris to really know what is in the paint. And now I can say, okay, I don't damage nature when I'm painting because we can't see difference between before and then. So I'm quite sure that I might minimize more like I can the impact on nature with my art.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. I've just got to ask very quickly, you are onto your next step. Obviously, what's the next destination for you?
Yes, this year is nightmare, because everything changes every week. But the next step will be Benin, which is in West Africa.
Nice.
And then we're working on Cairo, Egypt. We are working on Belfast. This is okay, but the borders are closed for the moment, and a lot of other locations. We're quite about 10 other locations in the world, but now we have to manage a thing like
we adapt.
Yes, exactly. We adapt everything.
Sape, you are a living legend. Thank you for putting this message out into the world. Thank you for doing this exquisite work here in South Africa, giving us this to appreciate. I think you've got to come back and do Joburg as well when you come back to South Africa. We really would love to host you again, but all the best of luck with your future endeavors. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Thank you, man.
Thank you to you. Bye-bye. It was amazing for me to come.
So cool, man.
What a legend. You couldn't have said it better yourself. Sape said, our lives and our actions are destined to become traces of our passage in this world. It is ours to know what to do with. We wish him all the best for this particular project. It's a game changer and we absolutely love it.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We are loving the intro, of course, previously on Expresso. Firstly, welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. We've explored the 5 different love languages that were identified and developed by psychological researcher John Gottman. And he has also identified 5 different ways in which couples engage in arguing with each other. Now, conflict in relationships is inevitable, and most couples exhibit one of 5 styles of conflict. Now, it is Monday, and we are talking relationships, and that means we are welcoming Asha Dula back into studio, and we're asking you the question this morning: how do you resolve conflict in your relationship? Clinical psychologist Asha is here to help us really discuss this, and we are also taking your questions and comments. That's on our Facebook page and our studio line, so feel free to call us. That number is 021 110 5552 so that you can connect with us. What an intro.
Asha, what an intro. Yes, and such an extensive conversation that we can go on and on unpacking. But you know, we know that in relationships, and we've all experienced this, whether it's romantic relationships or with our friends or with family, that there are people who like to stir the pot, okay, and keep us on our toes. We're always burning around them. And then you get those in any type of relationship who like to sort of take the step back and like to avoid conflict and will do everything they can to make everyone, in inverted commas, comfortable. But is conflict necessary in any relationship, Asha?
I think absolutely it's necessary. I think conflict grows us. We learn a lot from conflict. We start actually experiencing with conflict from a very young age. As toddlers, you know, we have play dates, we have conflict with our play dates, and we have to resolve those. And I think that it's a myth to think that when we look at couples, that happy couples don't have conflict. I think in life we have conflict with many aspects of our lives. So conflict is very much part and parcel of who we are as a human being. And we need to embrace the learnings from conflict. So yes, it's important and it's a must. We have to experience conflict.
And I suppose it also comes down to how you express or deal with your conflict. Let's touch on the 5 ones that John Gottman has identified.
All right, so there's 5 styles that he has identified. So the first one we speak about is validating. And the validating style is where 2 people are really able to validate each other's needs and feelings. They have a lot of respect, understanding and empathy for each other. They can really sort of get to some kind of resolution to the matter with complete laughter, lightness, and it can easily sort of just be resolved. So this is quite a healthy style. And then we have the volatile style. The volatile style, these I could say that it's like having 2 lawyers in the room. They love debating. They fight with intensity, but they also make up with quite a lot of passion and intensity. And these couples, I mean, there is a level of respect and understanding as well. And they also seem to reach a point where there's a means to an end and they resolve it. Then we have the hostile. The hostile is a bit of a tricky one. This is where we can imagine people battling it out in like a war or an army. They are very aggressive. They can be quite attacking, you know, name calling of partners, breaking down of character, criticizing. And that really can lead to a lot of repetitive conflict coming up. And of course, we have the avoidant style. I mean, the avoidant, they are the ones that feel, I don't really need to fight. I will keep things light. I will, you know, let it just resolve itself. I mean, those kind of couples would say, you know, we are happy. We don't really need any help or any therapy. But the downfall of that is that sometimes we can build up some resentment, and we then can seek attention in other regards. And then we have the hostile, detached. You know, these people are hostile. There's an internal aggressiveness, but they're also just detached. There's no emotional connection. There's no intimacy. And these kind of couples are really needing some help and support to resolve those kind of patterns.
I love that you're able to break down these different styles and types of personalities and approaches to managing or even resolving conflict, because it's very important, I think, in any relationship to be able to look at all of these lined up and be able to reflect against yourself and be able to identify which one you are most likely exhibiting in any instance and which one your partner is likely to exhibit. But we're going to continue with this conversation. There's so much, right?
Yes, we are. I just want to ask you, Asher, like if someone, the person that gets stilstaper, under which category would they find? Because they just go quiet. They go quiet when they're angry.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that that's more avoidant.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it can be for many reasons. Sometimes we can avoid because we don't want to hurt someone's feelings. Sometimes we just want to keep the peace for the moment. So we must remember that conflict, brings in our personality. It brings in how our day went. I mean, there's so many influences in how we deal with the disagreement at that time.
I imagine that sometimes those people who then just freeze or rather keep quiet or avoid, sometimes possibly even avoid because they know if they don't avoid, they're going to cause a mess.
Absolutely, rather be quiet.
Oh, man.
Asher, not going anywhere. We are asking you the question, how do you resolve conflict in your relationship? Asher Dulab is here with us this morning to really help us discuss this topic, and we are taking your questions and comments via our Facebook page, so head on over there if you have something to ask. And if you feel like calling us, our studio line is 021 110 5552, and please connect with us.
And we're connecting right now again with our in-house guest. Cheswin Ray is still in the building, of course, and Jamie Lee Domberg and Cheswin are about to go head-to-head. And you guys have seen it, of course, here a few times on the show, and it's becoming so popular. So this week we've got our game, Music Match, which is about to go down. Yeah!
I'm nervous.
You are, but Cheswin, we're doing something special because it's not just any music match. This is the gospel edition, all right? So every word that we give you, you need to create a song, but a gospel song at that too. And we've also got the keys coming through here for the specialist himself, so it's going to be a fun one indeed. And Jamie Lee Domberg, we're backing you hard here. Expresso is on your side. All right.
You have Marco Mentor. To be fair, you guys play together, so he's on your keys. You have a backup here. I have Ralda Monet.
What does that mean?
Wow.
All right, so Cheswin, you are guest of honor, so I'm going to give you the first word. And your word is grace.
Ooh. Give me a key.
Grace.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me.
Wow! And Cheswin drops the mic, ladies and gentlemen. The game is the one, Jamie.
Wow.
The bar's been set here. Let me help you out, seeing that you got me on your side. I don't know. I don't know how you're going to go against that, so let's make it easy for you. I'm going to give you the word Jesus.
I'm asking for a key.
I love this one.
Jesus,
yes,
lover of my soul. Jesus, I will never let you go.
Oh, yes, girl, yeah.
You've taken me upon the mighty clay. You set my feet upon the rock, and now I know.
What's going on here?
Okay, I quit.
What's going on here? Zazie, what on earth?
Wow, dude. Okay.
Cheswin, this is no longer a game, my friend.
I have to go now.
This is no longer a game. I think we need a guitarist and the trumpets.
The whole band.
Wow, okay, Cheswin, the bar has officially been set. So your word is love. You've got 5 seconds. 4.
Oh.
3. 2.5.
No.
What? No, Jamie Lee Domberg, this is your chance to take the throne here, all right? Your word, it's currently 1-1. Cheswin just lost out there. Your word is spirit.
Wow. Okay.
Are we getting another key here?
Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders.
yes.
Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my place will be made in the presence of my Savior.
You just keep going. You keep going. I just want to sit here.
Someone rehearsed it home.
Guys,
Wow.
stop.
Here's what I think a young collab later on.
Oh,
Jamie
yes.
Domberg might be on the cards here. Wow. So Jamie Lee Domberg. It's 2-1, by the way. Jeswin, you need to step it up here, my friend. Gospel Mondays, it needs you. And your next word is vrou.
Give me a key, but a lower key.
Oh, here we go.
Better sing, brother.
Vrou van Samaria, gee my a bietjie water. Oh, gee my a bietjie water om te drink. Oh, vrou van Samaria, gee my a bietjie water. Gee my a bietjie water.
Een beetje water om te drinken.
Because we're going to ask for this every single day. This is just too good. It's too all. We tied up here. Jamie Lee Domberg, I am absolutely blown away. Who are you, by the way? What's going on here?
When Jesus says yes, you say
You're merely a vessel. You're merely a vessel. Merely a vessel. All right. All right. So, Jamie Lee Domberg, we're running out of time here. So, this is going to be the final round.
We'll do it together.
Give me something with the word Lord.
Lord, prepare me to be a sanctuary, pure and holy, right and true.
I don't know.
With thanksgiving, I'll be a living sanctuary, Lord, for you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gospel Mondays music match brought to you by the one and only Cheslin Ray and his new collab star, Jamie Domberg in the building. Guys, you've been absolutely exceptional. I think Mzansi is crying with the magic that you've brought. And of course, we're catching up with Cheslin later in the show for his final rendition of something beautiful coming your way. So stick around for more magic. Jamie Lee, wow. Wow.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. Your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso live on SABC3 at the start of a brand new month altogether, the month of love. And so, of course, how fitting is it that we start the month of love off by taking a look at relationships, and we're asking the question, how do you resolve conflicts with those that you love, that you care about in your relationships? We're back with clinical psychologist Asha Dulab to unpack this topic, a very important one to have. So please do weigh in with your questions, your comments on our Facebook page, Expresso Morning Show SABC.
SABC3 or give us a call 021 110 552. Asha.
Asha, I'm very excited to unpack this one question for you, but we actually have a caller on the line this morning. Good morning.
It's Patrick.
Morning, how are you guys?
Good,
Very
thank
good.
you. Is this Patrick?
Vincent. Rather.
Vincent.
What is your question for Asha this morning?
Well, I wanted to find out, Asha, the methodology of when I'm in a conflict with my partner and I see the conversation get a little bit heated, is the best thing to do to retreat, like, for instance, leave the apartment, go for a run, and then come back afterwards in the midst of her still perhaps talking?
Okay, very interesting question, Vincent. So he wants to know, in the heat of the moment, would you advise him to, like, that cool-off period while she's talking?
Well, I think a cool-off period is always good because we're quite reactive in a moment of a disagreement, and we may say things that we don't really mean. So we can employ the stop method, where we literally stop, and then take a few breaths. Breathing is very important because remember that our physiological response to a disagreement, our heart rate goes up, we become more tense, our voice raises, and then breathe, and then observe yourself. Observe get in touch with where you are at with your body, and then proceed. And then sometimes it means just to sort of just move away from the current conflict, calm down, and then reconnect.
I love that. And Zoe, I loved what you said actually during the break about what you have been taught, and you grew up with this principle of what you do have control over. Please say that to everyone.
So it's something I've realized is you can't always control the first thought that pops in your head, but you can control your first actions or your first choice, like what you choose to say. So I feel like in the heat of the moment, I'm someone where, because I know I can't control the first thing that will come out, I prefer to just take a step back, figure things out, process it before approaching it a little bit more logically. But Asha, a question I've been burning to ask you is, I know that last week we discussed and unpacked love languages, but in the past we've also unpacked the 4 different styles of attachment. Is there some sort of relationship with how we handle and take care of, conflict resolution? The way we were raised, does that impact how we handle it?
Absolutely. Our attachment styles does have an impact. For example, if we look at the anxious attachment style, they fear rejection. And imagine now you have a partner that's avoidant, conflict avoidant. They may withdraw. So the one partner may feel that they are being rejected. So it does really have an interplay together with the way we communicate. Are we more passive-aggressive? Are we more assertive in our nature in communicating? And of course our personalities come into play. So it's quite laid, but the way we are brought up, we observe our parents dealing with conflicts. Siblings teach us so much about conflict. We have a lot of disagreements with our siblings, and of course friends, and those are all times where we can learn how to deal with conflict.
And you know what, at the end of the day, conflict's not supposed to be a bad thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a lot of good that comes from it, but it's also about how you execute it. Is it possible for someone to change their style of conflict? Because we are so set in our ways on how we want to handle something, but can they change it?
Absolutely. With more self-awareness, you can change it. It's doing some work, understanding that, we can be so repetitive in our nature. We do the same thing over and over and over, expecting a different result. So be aware of that, because what you'll notice with any disagreement, it's quite repetitive. We are recycling the same issue over and over. And I think that, we are doing more conflict management and resolution in that kind of space. So become aware of what is repetitively playing out in a relationship, and that could be a sign that you may need to just really look at the way you're dealing with the current conflict.
I like that. And Asha's not going anywhere. I would love for us to unpack, what are some of the types of conflict we need to be looking out for when it comes to dealing with a new partner or a new colleague, just so that you can also approach that personality type correctly. But please continue to connect with us. You can do so on the Expresso Facebook page. We'd love to see or hear your comments. And of course, you are welcome to call us on our studio line. That number is 021 110 552.
Thanks so much, guys. Really interesting one. I suggest you really do weigh in on that conversation right now, though. Let's talk coffee. And when it comes to travel, I think everyone obviously has a bucket list of countries they'd like to visit. Maybe some of us have had to put that on hold, but we want to explore cultures. We want to explore this beautiful world. And obviously the pandemic has put a halt on our travel plans, but that doesn't mean you can't still experience the beauty of other cultures and cities. I'm talking about Expresso's World Explorations range, and it's inspired by the diversity of local coffee cultures and rituals from places all around the world. Some amazing destinations, including Tokyo, Shanghai, Stockholm, Vienna, Buenos Aires, and our very own Cape Town made it onto the list. Thank you so much, because we are coffee snobs down here. And it invites you to discover unique ways to drink coffee around the world, to really enjoy it, obviously from the comfort of your own home. I've been loving these.
I was just going to ask you now, because we had our taste buds go on a journey.
We traveled, man. We traveled.
What has been your favorite one so far?
Buenos Aires, I think, which is quite strange for me, because I prefer the intenser ones, intenser flavors. There's something really nice about it. I love it. The fact that you're having it in the 110 size, the lungo, so you can savor it for a little bit longer. Maybe I want something a bit more intense for an espresso, but for the lungo, maybe something a bit softer. It's got sweeter notes, maybe a nod to the tastes of the culture there. But I've loved it. You?
Sticking with the city, Cape Town has definitely been one of my favorite. Today I'm going to try the Shanghai, though, which is a bit more fruity.
Okay.
Also
one of the milder ones there as well.
So here we go.
And I like the fact that in the range that they've got all different levels of intensity. You've got 2 intense, 2 balanced, and 2 new mild lungo coffees, those being the Buenos Aires and the Shanghai. So which one have you got?
I have Shanghai. So you have your favorite.
We'll give it there is a slight acidity.
You're becoming a coffee snob. I see you're giving a little bit of a twirl there.
I'm like the easiest going coffee drinker in the world, honestly. But that's nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a weak flavor. It's still got lots of complexity to it, but it does have kind of a sweetness to it, which is lovely. And it's got a lovely nose. I love that. This is the kind of smell you want kind of permeating through your house when you wake up in the morning. I love that. Cheers.
Get a cheers.
Ching, ching.
Ching, ching.
Absolutely beautiful. Well, Shanghai, fruity with a fine acidity, a tribute to Chinese coffee. And then, of course, the beautiful biscuity, sweet blend of Buenos Aires. I'll recommend that wholeheartedly. So we know that February is the month of love. And to celebrate, we've got a red hot prize up for grabs. An espresso bundle, perfect for sharing. That includes a red Citizen Milk machine, which is a really, really hot one. World Explorations 10-sleeve coffee wrap. An apron, biscuit bundle. The biscuits are amazing. And limited edition travel mug as well, which I use every single day. And it's all worth 6,399 Rand. Wow. So to stand a chance of winning this incredible prize, we want you to reply to the competition post on Expresso's Facebook or our Twitter pages. You'll see it pinned there. We want you to tell us, which loved one would you like to spoil this Valentine's Day and why? Why are they so amazing? Remember to include the hashtag Nespresso Expresso, and that competition closes Thursday the 18th of February at midday, but you can find all the terms and conditions on expressoshow.com.
Another cheers.
It's not my first coffee of the day.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. Your feel-good breakfast show with just a couple of minutes left before we wrap it up. We're still talking relationships on this beautiful Monday morning, and it's been so wonderful to see all of your interaction and engagement coming through. So many people interested in this topic, and we're asking, how do you resolve or even manage conflicts in your relationships? And we welcome back clinical psychologist Asha Dulab to unpack more of this topic. So please do continue to weigh in and maybe give us a call as well, 021 110 552. Asha, I love this chat.
Me too.
We're loving this chat.
And it's so important because I also feel like, you get some couples that bicker a lot, but then they bicker about small things like someone, the rice was burnt, or what are we going to have for dinner, and it's always my decision. But should we be taking notice of the types of things we bicker/argue about? Like, is it the bigger things, or is the small things okay? Where should we gauge, like, this is now reaching red flag territory?
I think that, it's the small things that do matter, actually, that create the bigger arguments. It becomes quite late. And I think if we look at the themes of what couples fight about, the major themes are finances, children, in-laws, intimacy, and our stuff that comes out from trauma, our fear of being abandoned, our fear of being rejection. So those are the main themes, and it's all about it's all rooted in fear. And the reality is that we all are just searching to connect. So we are trying to find a connection, and sometimes we do it via means of a conflict or a disagreement with our friends or our partners or our family members. It all plays out very similarly.
Okay.
I've got a very interesting question to ask you, which we will do. It's got to do with, is there such a thing as too much conflict that might even lead you to, sort of just part ways? But in the meantime, we've got Anonymous on the line who I'm sure has a fantastic question to ask. Anonymous, good morning. Thanks for calling.
Good morning. This is Anonymous from Wheaton. We've been married for 50 years. And if you think that there's conflict only when you are young, think again. The difference is that you look at it from a more adult perspective. And don't argue about children. The children are grown up, let them go. They have their own lives to live. And COVID is a big thing because we are both fearful of COVID. So it's who's going to the shop? You've been to the shop yesterday, you want to go to the shop again today, and all you want to say is, you know what, just shut up and leave those headache tablets or whatever. And Jamie, I like your comment about stool stepper. I married a stool stepper. I've also become a stool stepper. Eventually you'll learn to know each other. Walk away. It's not worth getting a heart attack over. Tomorrow's another day. Thank you.
I love that.
And then also don't forget about the 6th. It is important.
Love it.
And
love it.
Never mind if you are 50 or 80. It's free. It costs nothing.
Oh.
Get on with the job.
Beautiful.
Bye.
Thank you very, very much, Anonymous in Wetton. That is some really, some golden gems there, and some crisp advice, words of advice there, right? Because it's about measuring when it's important, when it matters. Sometimes you know when it's not worth really getting a heart attack over.
You always have to pick your battles.
That's it.
Sure. And I think once we get to a point where we have sort of, worked through the disagreement, it sort of doesn't bother us anymore. We get on to the next thing. But there will always be something that comes up, and it's about asking the question, what makes me happy? And really investing in the energy of passion in the sense of every aspect of our life. What are we passionate about? And really living life to the fullest in that regard.
Sometimes, though, it does get to a point where you can't pick your battles because there are just way too many battles and way too much conflict. Is that even a thing? Too much conflict that might even lead you to the point where you've reached your threshold, it's time to call it quits.
Absolutely. We want to be happy, so if we are finding that predominantly we are fighting and disagreeing with each other rather than just having moments of bliss and happiness, then we need to really look at our relationship, because we are all about connecting and all about relationships, and we want to be happy. So it's again just being aware and asking yourself, why are you in this relationship if there's more conflict versus moments of positivity? It's that ratio of 5 to 1. You know, the theorist Dr. Godman speaks about having 5 positive interactions compared to the 1 negative. And that's what we need to sort of work towards. The atmosphere in the home needs to be happy.
It does. It does. And do you also feel like, in terms of advice for couples that find themselves constantly arguing over the same thing, they're going in circles and the issue they are arguing about is not changing. What do they do in a moment like that? How do they now break that cycle?
So it's really quite a holistic approach that one needs. You know, firstly, we need respect for each other. We need to be able to forgive and ask for forgiveness. We need to offer deep listening to whoever we're having a disagreement with deep affection, which is deep care. We need to appreciate each other for our uniquenesses and our differences. We all are very different, and of course accept to agree that there will be times that we have to agree to disagree. But when there's repetitive arguments or disagreements, there's time to perhaps seek some outside help.
And that's the thing, is that there is always help. I know that during this time, a lot of relationships have taken strain, Asha, and people often feel that they have nowhere to turn to. You've been doing fantastic work. Quickly before we let you go, you've been doing a lot of counseling online during this time, because people often find, well, can I even go see a therapist during this time? Let's talk about that. How are you doing that now?
Absolutely. So I do predominantly online work via Zoom or Skype, and so anyone can reach me anywhere in the world and we can have a session.
Awesome. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. And although attachment behaviors and conflict styles are deeply ingrained in habits, these can be changed with effort and dedication. The first step is becoming self-aware of your personal conflict style and the attachment behaviors that drives them. Now, if you would like to seek professional help in this or any other areas in your life, and you are, facing some difficulty, then you can reach out to Asha Dulab, who is, of course, our relationship expert on the show, and email her at info@ashadulab.com.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
welcome back, everybody. It's the last few minutes on your Feel Good Breakfast Show, and we just want to say a big thank you to singer and songwriter Chezwin Ray for being a part of the show this morning and for blessing us with 2 incredible Gospel Monday performances with a 3rd and final song on the way. Now, don't forget to download Chezwin's latest single, Heart Tonight, on all major music downloading platforms. Chezwin will be taking to the floor to perform the South African gospel hit Nothing Without You by gospel sensation Tumisang Makwea, better known as Dr. Tumi. Dr. Tumi has won and been nominated for scores and several awards over the decades, including Song of the Year at the Crown Gospel Music Awards in 2016 for Nothing Without You. Here is Chezwin and Marco Mentor on the keys. Boys, take it away one last time.
If it had not been for the Lord, who was always on my side, the enemy would have swallowed us, would have drowned in the water. Our souls have found an escape, a hiding place in you. The father's net is broken, and my help is in the name of the Lord. I'm nothing without you, without you. You are the air that I breathe. Can't live without you, without you. In you I live and move and have my being. If it had not been for the Lord, who was always on my side, the enemy would have swallowed us, would have drowned in the water. But my soul have found an escape. Lord, you are my hiding place. My hiding place is in you. The enemy would have swallowed us, and my help is in the name of the Lord. I'm nothing without you, without.
Made with love by Clover. Another Feel Good production.
My being. Oh, in you I live and move and have my being. Oh, Jesus, in you I live and move and I have my being.
Sorry about that, Roderick.